All right. What's going on? Oh my God. Damn. I thought I had done all my vocal warm-up exercises, but evidently not, you know what I'm saying? But like I always say, it's not an Ask Neo unless something goes wrong within the first 30 seconds of showing up on cam. But what's going on, people? What's up, yo? What's happening? Can you all see me? Most importantly, can you all hear me? What's going on, people? What's up? Okay, I'm seeing some of the homies pull up. All right, that's what I'm talking about. How's everything sound, guys? How's the background music? Hopefully not overpowering my voice or vice versa, you know. All right, let me just go ahead and drag this chat over here. Move that right there. All right, I'm seeing a lot of the homies here. What's going on, y'all? What's up? So what's up? Starting from the top with Don Otaku. I can only get so erect. Well, I mean, hey, there you go. We're already starting out the stream on a very, very sus note. Does your wife know you making those comments, Don Otaku? The world wants to know, my friend. We got Asbellant in the chat. We got Flame. Damn, we got three mods. And they're the first 3 comments of the night. What's up, y'all? Asbellant says, ah, shit, another day, another Ask Neo. Yes, you know what it is, y'all. Another Saturday Ask Neo, too, which is very surprising. Well, we'll touch more on that in a little bit. And then we got the homie Flame in here. Saturday gang. We back again. That's right. We back at it like a crack addict. We got Rescue Squad in the chat. Hello, good sir. We got Elitist Edits. Watched Xbox 2. Now time to watch Ask Neo. Oh, my man pulling double duty today. He's supporting all the podcasts. He going from the man with the million and the man with the mayo to me, the holy child of God. You'll love to see it. What's going on, Elitist? We got Agent E in the chat. What's up? We got Zap Black 1212. Did he do this on accident? Did I do what on accident? I'm confused unless I'm missing something in the chat. Let's see who else we got. We got NKDN. What's going on, bro? We got Sibir. Hey, everyone. We got MX Woods 3. What's happening, Neo? What's happening with you, MX3? How you doing, bro? We got POTC 3000. What's up? I see everyone's asking the questions. I thought your schedule was going to change. What you doing here on Saturday? We're going to touch on that in a little bit. Okay, we got Gemini in the chat. What's up, bro? Happy holidays to you too, man. We got JPip25. Just started SMT5. Ooh, my man's in for some greatness. We love to see it. We got Chris in the chat. What's good, Chris? Oh, man, it's so funny because I'm reading his comment because we're both named Chris. So it's like, I don't know. Am I replying to him or am I reading his comment? The world may never know. The world may never fucking know, people. Ooh, and then we got, who else is in here? We got D'Angelo, 4 more days. We got Julian Harris and we got Pie Studios. Damn, everyone is pulling up tonight. You love to see it. Ooh, and then we got the homie Flame coming in with a $5 super chat. Just finished watching The Man with the Million. Now I'm watching The Man with the Mayo. No. It's funny how we were both thinking the same thing, Flame. I literally just called Jez The Man with the Mayo. Because if anyone is going to be called The Man with the Mayo, I think it's going to be Jez Corden. You guys look at the shit that I've done and then compare that to what Jez does. There's no competition. This man brushes his teeth with Hellman's Mayo. He is sponsored by Hellman, so don't come in here saying I'm the man with the mayo. I am most certainly not the man with the mayo. At least not that kind of mayo. Let's see what else he's saying in this comment. Happy Saturday, bruh. Halfway into Tales. Story is lit. Oh, look at that. You see, look at this man Flame. This man Flame was talking up and down. You know, I'm not going to get into that right now. But I'm happy you're enjoying that Tales of Arise greatness, my friend. Oh, we got Rhino in the chat. What's going on, Angel? How you doing, bro? But yeah, you know, we might as well just get the intros out of the way. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another fantastic and fabulous episode of Ask Neo. If y'all are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. Ask Neo is my weekly Q&A series where you guys ask me questions and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. Now, I don't really have anything crazy to pimp out because it was a really sparse week for news, so there wasn't really much I really wanted to make a video about. So I'm just going to divert y'all's attention to the video description. That's where you guys can find all of the links of interest, Patreon page, Twitter account, Facebook, Instagram, Discord community. All those links are going to be down below in the video description if you guys want to give your boy a follow. In addition to that, in the video description, we have a list of all the people who have been supporting the channel throughout the month in the form of Patreon memberships, YouTube memberships, things like that. All of it is greatly appreciated, and I thank you guys so much for your support. So I just want to shout out a couple of these people right now. Some of them might actually be in the chat as well. We got Santos Jimenez, we got Alex Moretti, Darius Chappelle, Gaius, Jhoel Delcarmen, Zack Rodriguez, GC Plugs, my boy Bobby, Daniel Pack, everyone's favorite penguin, Marcus Doyle Terrell, who actually just started a new YouTube channel. So fingers crossed he pulls up tonight and he can pimp his stuff out. We got Hustle and Motivate, PierretheGamer, Fostings1, Colin, my boy, DIMWITMONKEY, Don Otaku, and Flame. So I want to thank you guys so much for all of y'all's continued support. And yeah, that's basically all I gotta pimp out here tonight, guys. So we might as well just tackle any questions you guys ask. To the best of my ability, I'll answer them in a pretty timely fashion. But yeah, so the first thing I know that's on everybody's mind right now, Neo, what's going on with Asking Neo? You said that Saturdays are a thing of the past. What happened to your work schedule changing? So it was originally going to change within the past 2 weeks, but for whatever reason, my boss was just like, you know what? Keep having Saturdays off until I say so. And I'm like, all right, bet, cool. So with any luck, this might be the last time I have to tell y'all that this is the last Ask Neo on a Saturday. As terrible as that sounds, because, you know, I love doing these Saturday nights. But yeah, you know, if anything, just look out for the tweets of when we'll be having Ask Neo on the weekdays. I don't get my schedule until Monday, so we'll see what that's looking like. But until then, we're just going to enjoy the Saturday nights for as long as we can, because going forward, I don't think I'm gonna have a Saturday night off for quite some time. But it's all good. I'm used to not having like weekends off. You know, I've never worked a regular 9 to 5 like that. Most of my shifts have been in the evenings. Sometimes I get weekends off. Most of the time I usually get weekdays off, which honestly I don't mind having weekdays off. The unspoken cool thing about having weekdays off is the vast majority of people out there, since they have weekends off, they don't really do all the important shit they got to do during the weekday. So if you have weekdays off, that means, like, let's say, for example, if you're going to an amusement park, that shit's basically empty. If you're going out to eat, it's much easier by comparison to going out on a Saturday night, because, you know, everyone's trying to go out on Saturday. So I've come to appreciate having midweek days off. Ooh, especially if you like to travel as well. But yeah, that's the gist of why we're still here on Saturdays, you guys. So we're just going to enjoy it while we last. Oh, we got a lot of people joining in. We got Aaron Stallings. We got HD Boom Bap. We got Corey Gryffindor, my guy. Who else? We got J World here. Oh my God, my guy J World. This man just got back from a 2-week vacation. Where was he at? He was in Arizona, right? I know you was having fun out there, man. Oh, shout out to my boy Amazing JD. We got Michael Brent in the chat. All right, so you know, since there aren't really a lot of crazy topics to discuss this week outside of one thing happening, so we'll save that until we get a little later on in the stream. But I'm just gonna go ahead and answer some of y'all's questions in the chat. Okay, people asking, did I purchase my Spider-Man No Way Home tickets? Yes, I did get a chance to purchase my tickets, man, and let me tell you the process of what went down. All right, so as you guys know, tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home went on sale last Monday, right? So this is the final Monday of November. What was it, November 29th? Right? And they were going to be selling the tickets at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right then and there, I already knew shit's going to be a damn bloodbath, man. Because you know how it is. Like, if anyone tried to get tickets for Avengers Endgame, when that thing dropped, bro, that thing, dude, I was on that ticket site waiting for it to refresh. And even though I felt like I was the first one there, I still couldn't get tickets for my preferred showtime or my preferred theater. I had to drive 20 plus minutes away just to find a 5 p.m. screening. No IMAX, no Dolby, none of that shit, bro. But yeah, so 12 o'clock came. I'm over there. Actually, you know what? I wasn't even on the app waiting at 12 o'clock because so your boy got a little faded that night, right? And, you know, I was just chilling, minding my business. And, you know, I'm over there just watching some TV shows. I look at my phone. The clock says 12:17 a.m. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, wasn't there something I was supposed to be doing right now? I just can't remember. So then I go onto Twitter and everyone's like, yo, Spider-Man crashes the AMC app, Regal app, and everything. I was like, damn, did the tickets go on sale? I was like, oh shit, the tickets went on fucking sale. So I tried going on to Regal. the app wouldn't even load, you guys. It would not even function. I tried opening it, it had just stayed on the Regal logo. So I tried opening up Fandango, no luck. I tried opening up Atom tickets, no luck. I got through on AMC, right? I got through on AMC, but before I could even select a theater or a showtime, it said your estimated wait time is 54 minutes. And so I'm thinking right then and there, okay, you know what? At least I'm in a queue. At least I have the opportunity to purchase these tickets. Fingers crossed. But bro, I literally waited, like, so I had my phone screen unlocked this whole time because I didn't want to run into a situation where, oh, you lose connection and then you got to refresh it. I didn't want that to happen, so I kept my phone screen unlocked. I had it posted right by my nightstand, and I just left it there waiting, and it went from like 54 minutes to 53 minutes, and I was like, okay, you know what? Things are moving. People are buying tickets. I can finally get a chance to purchase them. So fast forward a whole hour later, I'm not even thinking about getting these tickets. I'm just chilling, playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, oh, it's been an hour. I look over at my phone. That thing says 52 minutes. 52 minutes when it's been a whole hour. So at that point, you guys, I looked at that and I just closed my phone. I closed my phone. I went to bed, man. Because I just, you know, it's going to be a big movie. So I accepted the fact that there's no way I'm going to see this movie opening weekend. Maybe I might be able to squeeze into a Sunday like 10 a.m. showing, but it wasn't looking so hot, man. I wake up the next day and I was curious, man. So I'm just like, let me go on the AMC app and see what's happening. I go on the AMC app and it's like, I can still select the theaters and the show times. And so I click a show time and I was like, wait, this isn't sold out? And I click it and then it puts me in a queue for 1 minute, only 1 minute. And then I go and I'm able to purchase my tickets. So finally, and this is the weirdest thing, I was able to purchase my Spider-Man No Way Home tickets the morning after, even though AMC and all these sites were crashed like 8 hours earlier, man. It was the craziest thing. I don't know how it happened, but I did get my ticket to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm going to be seeing it Thursday, 3 p.m., Dolby Cinema at AMC. So I'm extremely excited, man. With any luck, I'll be able to see it twice that weekend, depending on if what's it called, depending on if I really want to go to some of these IMAX shows at like 10 a.m. in the morning, you know, like, because me, I'm definitely one of those dudes that likes seeing movies in like the afternoon and evening. I used to go see movies in the morning, but nah, man, I don't do that shit no more. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I might be able to squeeze into like a Sunday morning, because the last time I checked a few days ago, there were still seats available, and still really good seats, because, you know, no one wants to go to the movies in the morning. But yeah, I'm just happy I got a showing at Thursday at 3 p.m., which I think is the easiest, not the easiest, but I think that's the earliest screen time of anything around. Most of the screen times I've seen have started at like 5 p.m. So for this one to be 3 p.m. was the weirdest thing, bro. But I'm excited, man, and I'll make sure to post a review for the movie. No spoilers, of course. I'll probably do the spoiler review maybe that Sunday. But yeah, what about you guys? Did you guys get your tickets for Spider-Man? What's it looking like out there? Okay, and while we do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and answer a couple of super chats. Thank you guys so much. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so we have a $2 super chat coming in from Leon. Working at GameStop, LOL JK. No. So I'm not. I'm just changing schedules at one of my jobs, so that's why. We got $1.99 super chat coming in from the homie Mo Chocolate 9000. Thank you, bro. What did you like about LOU2? I was not a fan. I assume you're talking about The Last of Us Part 2. I mean, yeah, so I've already talked about Last of Us before, but it was an interesting game because I actually played Last of Us well after the initial zeitgeist, you know. So the game came out, everybody was playing it. That's when, you know, all the controversies and stuff started happening. But I didn't get a chance to play Last of Us until like a full month later. Basically, you know, I just had other games I was playing. I was doing other shit. So I was like, nah, you know what? I'll get to it when I get to it. And man, shit, bro. Every single thing I heard people complain about online, I was thinking that going into my playthrough. And none of that shit people said was in the actual game, which led me to believe a lot of those people who said they played the game didn't play the game. They just watched it on YouTube, or they still think the stuff about the leaks was legit when it wasn't. So, I mean, I really enjoyed Last of Us Part 2. Does it have its issues? Yeah, I don't think that the story was that well paced, but I didn't have any issues with any of like the subject matter in the story. So a lot of the big controversial stuff that happened with certain characters, I didn't have an issue with it, because if you played the first game, you understand there is no good and evil in a post-apocalyptic environment. It's just a matter of survival. So what might look good and true from your point of view, from somebody else's, it looks like they're fucking ruining our lives. And it's so weird that, like, that's such an easy concept to grasp and understand, but a lot of people didn't get it. A lot of people just have attachments to characters like that. And listen, I get it. When a lot of the stuff went down in the first couple hours of Last of Us Part 2, I was feeling some type of way because I was attached to the characters. But then when you learn about what happens with the characters, you're like, oh, because everything in life is a matter of perspective. And when there are no laws anymore, you know, with the clickers running around, people are gonna revert to their primal instincts. And if we get wrapped up and caught up in the emotions surrounding that, that's how we continue to perpetuate this cycle. Like, oh, you did me bad, so I'm gonna do you bad, and then you're gonna do me bad, and blah 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 blah. Like that's the whole point of what was going on with The Last of Us Part 2. It's not that Joel was a hero for doing what he did with Ellie, because in saving Ellie's life, he also doomed other people as well. So there's a lot of layers to it. I just feel like it wasn't properly executed with the pacing. Like, you get into the game and you're playing it and you're getting to a point where it's really good, then it swaps perspectives. And I had no problem playing with both characters. It's just, I wish it was paced a little bit better. But other than that, man, the gameplay in that game, anyone who says that it's a step down from the first Last of Us, I firmly believe they have not played this. They have not played The Last of Us Part 2. Because if you play the first Last of Us, it's very formulaic. Very formulaic. It's literally duck, listen for a clicker, raft, ladder, rinse, repeat, over and over and over and over and over again. And then if you go to Last of Us Part 2, bro, there is so much more stealth gameplay. There's so many more mechanics at hand. Like, every single day, someone's posting up a clip of what happened in Last of Us Part 2, and people are like, I didn't know you could do that. That's fucking insane. That's wild. Like, so from a gameplay perspective, animations, presentation, Last of Us is a 10. Story-wise, execution, I'd probably give it a 7. But I really enjoyed it, and I played it, and I completed it, unlike a lot of people out here, which is, I always have to mention that, because every time I ask someone, show me your completion data for Last of Us Part 2. Oh no, I don't need to show you that, or, oh, I watched it on YouTube. Like, I hate that shit, bro. I hate when people say, I watched it on YouTube, so my opinion is just as valid, and I can commentate on things. Like, bro, I'm gonna go off into a whole rant. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. But I really enjoyed The Last of Us Part 2. And if people don't like it, I have no problem with it if they actually played the game. But if you're gonna come on here and parrot all these talking points, you're no different than all these other fanboys out here. Let's see. $4.99 coming in from Zap Black. My accident comment was referring to you having the stream on Saturday. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, I had maybe set it to go live without knowing. I see what you're saying, man. Okay. By the way, what's your TV? And also, when you upgraded, did you keep your PS4? So my current TV right now is the Sony X900H. You know, here's the thing. So I bought this TV last October, and for me, I bought it because it was such a good deal. It was $990 for a 65-inch 4K TV, which I thought was a really good deal. But looking back on it, I kind of wish that I had shelled out the extra like $400 and gotten the LG CX, because that TV, just the picture quality alone, beats the crap out of most TVs out there within that like $1,000 to $2,000 plus price range. But you know, I was like being very frugal. I was like, you know, I'll be good with this shit, and I'll get that later down the road. But man, listen, trust me, if you are going to be making these big decisions, like if you're buying a gaming PC, if you're buying anything over $500, do not skimp out on the price, especially if it's something that you use on the day-to-day basis, like watching TV, playing video games. Do not skimp out on it. Pay the extra money to get really good quality, or else you're going to end up like Neo. You're going to be like me, regret my purchase a whole year later. Because it's like, now I got this TV, and I want another TV just to make up for the fact that I should have bought that TV in the first place. But listen, the X900H is not a bad TV at all. It isn't. But if you just compare it to what you get with the LG CX or the C1, just pay the extra money. Just pay it. You'll be much happier. And as far as like when I got my PS5, did I keep my PS4? Yeah, so I don't really sell most of my consoles like that. Just because, you know, I have a lot of sentimental value to them, and backwards compatibility still isn't universal across the board. Like, Xbox is the only platform where backwards compatibility is feasible for previous generations, and even then it's not 100% of the games. So I had a tendency to keep on, like, hold on to all my consoles. Like, I still have my 360, My PlayStation 3, on the other hand, unfortunately, I think it's starting to crap out because I tried turning it on after a few years and it was just not working. I thought it was a faulty HDMI port. I don't think it's that. I might have to replace the hard drive. Either way, I do keep a hand on most of my things. But my PlayStation 4, here's the thing. I've been thinking about selling my PS4 Pro because it literally just sits in the house. Like, I let my sister hold on to it so she can play like Persona and stuff like that. But honestly, the only game she's really been addicted to this whole quarantine has been Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, she still plays that game to this day. It's absolutely insane. And I don't think she really could get into like Persona like that or some of the older Final Fantasy games, mainly because, you know, she has her entertainment hours, the time she spends playing, like enjoying stuff, and she watches a lot of TV and a lot of anime, and she does a lot of reading as well. So obviously, you know, something is going to have to give in terms of your enjoyment. Like you can make time for a lot of things, but at the same time, something has to give. So there might be periods in my life where I'm really big into rewatching shows or watching new shows, but then that takes away from my gaming time and vice versa. Like, it takes away from my reading time. So it's all about balancing things out. But the reason why I was thinking about selling my PS4 is because I have the PS4 Pro Spider-Man Special Edition, which I thought would be worth more than it was. I thought it'd be like one of those really limited edition consoles, but I found out Sony was selling regular PS4s like that too. Because I looked at the resale value of that PS4 Pro, and it's still like $300+. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with the supply chain shortage and all that stuff. But yeah, like, my PS5 does everything my PS4 does, so it's not a case of like going from PS3 to PS4 where you're sacrificing backwards compatibility. I wouldn't be, since I have a PS5. So yeah, I'll see what I can get for that one, because it literally just sits there. And remember, that's the Jet Station 4, so that's the one that made a lot of loud noise. So if somebody wants to buy it as is and they're still gonna fork over like $300, shit, who am I to deprive them of such a good purchase? Let's see. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see. So we have a $2 super chat from Leon. Got my Spider-Man ticket for December 18th. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I'm seeing a lot of you guys comments, a lot of people saying, oh, you got your ticket. Some people say they're still waiting on it and all that good stuff. I think if anything, after the first couple of days, you should be able to get tickets like no questions asked. Spider-Man did crash sites, but it wasn't on the level of Avengers Endgame. I think it's the highest since Avengers Endgame, but it's not the same. Like, Avengers Endgame literally crashed sites for a whole day. That's how crazy it was. Let's see. So Don Otaku, $10 super chat. Thank you, bro. The Last of Us Part 2 is the best game Sony has ever made. I hated the first Last of Us game and every Naughty Dog game. Part 2 is the only game where they made the gameplay shine. Don't care about the story at all. So I agree with a lot of stuff you said here, but you said it. You hate every single Naughty Dog game, bro. We're talking Jak and Daxter. Oh, listen, I'll give you Crash Bandicoot. Because listen, I'm going to be honest. I like Crash Bandicoot, but Crash Bandicoot's controls do not age. Like, even in the Insane Trilogy, there's just some things about the older Crash games that I love, but at the same time, I hate. But yo, them Jak and Daxter games, bro, like Jak 1, 2, and 3. Oh, God, those, dude, Jak and Daxter is still one of my favorite platformers of all time, man. But yes, I totally understand where you're coming from a gameplay perspective. Yes, The Last of Us Part 2 is Naughty Dog's magnum opus. And honestly, I think it's the best gameplay we've ever seen in a stealth title. Like, I don't think there's a cleaner third-person shooter out there that mixes so much variety. Like, you have your cover shooting, you have your shooting mechanics, and then you have all the other weapons at your disposal. The going prone and climbing under things, and then the enemy AI being aware. So like, let's say for example, if you hide under something, they find you, you run away, they're gonna still check under all those cars to make sure you're not there. Like, shit like that is legitimately impressive. And why, if you guys remember, when Microsoft commissioned people to do mock reviews of PlayStation titles, because you know every company does this. Every company does research on their competition to see what the games are like, and then they present them to their in internal meetings. And they had somebody do one for The Last of Us Part 2, and they were just basically listing off all these things about the game. And one of the things they said was, this game is leaps and bounds ahead of anything that is available right now and stuff that we have in production, which is insane to think about, because this is not like some random YouTuber doing a review about it. This is something that the company commissioned to have done, which means they have insight on what stuff they have working on, what they have being worked on. So for them to say that is, I'm telling you, it's a testament to how fucking good the gameplay is in The Last of Us Part 2. But I'm happy you enjoyed it, Don. We got $5 for G on the Don. Oh, we got 2 Dons in the chat. We got 2 Dons in the chat. Look at that. If The Last of Us Part 2 swapped characters every couple chapters like Yakuza 0, would the pacing be better to you? It would definitely help. It would definitely help, because what happened with The Last of Us Part 2 is that, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you get dropped in this situation, and you understand how it takes time to progress and to get an understanding of these characters and the situations they're going through. And by the time you get to the real juicy stuff, it immediately switches. And I'm like, bro, come on. Like, what the hell's going on? So I think that would help, in addition to shaving off a couple of chapters, because I don't think the game needed to be close to 30 hours long. If anything, if they could have brought it down to like a solid 22 hours, it would have been much easier to go through. Because the only thing that's keeping me going back and replaying the game is the gameplay. I just know that there's just certain areas that are padded for the sake of, hey, have fun with the gameplay. So they could shave off a good 5 hours of some of those sections, and we would definitely be good. $2.79 coming in from Colin. What did you end up picking up for Black Friday? Oh, so for Black Friday this year, I kept shit very, very low key, y'all. There wasn't really a lot of stuff that I wanted to pick up. Like, I didn't see too many deep discounts, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I already have my computer, my monitor, I got the TV, so there wasn't really anything I needed to pick up. Like, there's stuff I wanted to pick up, but I didn't necessarily need. Like, I saw a couple of really nice like Sony headphones on sale for like a really good price. But the thing is, right now in my life, I don't really need high quality over the ear headphones for just listening to stuff, because most of the time I'm listening to things, like, for example, I wouldn't use those Sony headsets or the Sony headphones when I'm editing on my computer, because I have a dedicated headset for that. And then when I'm out and about, I usually always have my AirPods, or I have my Power Beats. So Power Beats are in the gym, AirPods are for everything else. And for me, that fulfills all those needs. Now, if I was taking really long trips places and I needed a really nice pair of headphones, I would absolutely buy that pair. But I haven't really been taking a lot of trips like that. Maybe if I had a really long commute time on the train, I would invest in those headphones. But I do all my driving. I do all my commuting by driving. So I listen to my car's stereo speakers. Stereo speakers. Why I sound so fucking formal. Speaking of which, that's something I should have looked more into. I need to upgrade my car's stereo system, man. Like, it's something I was putting off for a while, but I want to get some nice Bose speakers in my car. But so yeah, I didn't really make any like major purchases. Like, my purchases were very small. So I bought clothes. I bought supplements because they were on sale. So I got some pre-workout and things like that. I bought a couple of 4K Blu-rays. I bought my friend the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Yeah, that was basically it, man. Like, I didn't do a lot of crazy Black Friday shopping this year. What about you guys? And then yeah, everybody is just like, yo, what is going on with this Jack and Daxter hate? That's what I'm saying, bro. On the 20th anniversary of Jack and Daxter, this man is over here slandering it. I can't, bro. I can't. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of homies in the chat. What's up, Jimbo? What's up, Josh? How you doing, bro? Oh, we just started, Josh. We haven't really discussed like any major topics, man. We just been talking about Spider-Man and all that. Chris, buy me Last of Us 2 for Christmas. Yo, dude, DM me. We'll talk about this shit, bro. I'll buy you that shit for Christmas. Why not? If you gonna buy me, I would say make a joke like, because one thing I do with a lot of my friends is like, we buy ourselves like games every now and then, but every now and then I want to do like a Christmas like Secret Santa where you gift someone a really bad game. Like, I would definitely be that person that gifts people Jump Force this year, because the game is going to be delisted. So it's kind of like, yo, what better time than now to gift my friends Jump Force and have fun with that shit. But then again, I might just fuck around and buy Jump Force for myself, because that shit's going for like, what, $9? $9. This man said Jack and Daxter look like a shitty Mario knockoff? Yo, Don Otaku, what is going on with you tonight? You just out here slandering, bro. We can't. We can't with that shit. Okay, so let's get back to the super chats right quick. We got $5 from Don Otaku. Fire Emblem Three Houses is better than The Last of Us Part 2, though. I mean, yeah. But how are we really going to compare the two, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're very, very, very different games. But yes, I would play Fire Emblem more because Fire Emblem is more my speed. I love Fire Emblem. I love the characters. I love the different branching storylines and all that stuff. That stuff is great. We got $5 coming in from Blue Senshi. Only stopping in, rewatching all the Spider-Man films currently. I'm on Spider-Man 2 right now. Got my tickets as well. My vacation starts now. Yo, my man Blue Senshi, he's the definition of I'm gonna do literally everything on this vacation. Like everything that needs to be done in the world, I'm doing it in these 2 weeks. So my man Blue Senshi, he's out here rewatching all the Spider-Man films. I'm actually doing that myself, man. I just rewatched Spider-Man 2 last night. Every other night, I'm watching a Spider-Man film. So tomorrow night, I've got to watch Spider-Man 3. And then Tuesday night, I'm going to be starting with The Amazing Spider-Man. Thursday night, I'm going to be watching Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then next Saturday, I'm going to start... actually, so this is what I'm doing. I'm rewatching every single Spider-Man movie. So I'm not just watching the Tobey, Andrew, and Tom Holland ones. I'm including Spider-Verse in the mix. So I'm starting with the Tobeys. Then I'm going into the Andrews. And then I think right before I hit Tom's movies... I'm going to put on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse because, you know, the last movie I watched, Far From Home, I'm literally going to be watching that December 15th. And then the following afternoon, I'm going to be watching No Way Home. So I'm thinking, like, I don't want to end off with the best Spider-Man movie of all time, that being Spider-Verse. So I'm like, let that be a little, like, palate cleanser before I go into the Tom Holland Home, Spider-Man Home the Home trilogy. Such a weird title. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it lines up perfectly. I started December 1st, and December 15th the rewatch concludes, and then December 16th we've got Spider-Verse live action, which is always fun. But I'm glad you're enjoying that, man. You've got your ticket and you're trying out wine for the first time. What kind of wine are you having? I'm curious. Are you going red? You going white? What's your taste for wine, if you ever have a taste for wine? I'm admittedly more of a sweet kind of wine myself, so I don't like things that are just like a little too bitter, a little too dry. I'm a sweet guy. We got $2 super chat from Flame. Got to do it. Jamaican Jim is gonna sell Game Pass, mon. Jamaican Jim Ryan strikes again. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go through Don Otaku's super chat, and then we're gonna touch on that topic real quick. $2 super chat from Don Otaku. You compare them by how many waifus there are. Well, if we're comparing Fire Emblem Three Houses in terms of waifus, it beats out most of the games out there, man. Because Fire Emblem Three Houses has got a lot of good waifus. Who's some of my favorite? Okay, so I've only done 2 routes, so I haven't got a chance to gauge all the waifus in the game. But man, I really liked Petra a lot. I liked Petra, and I liked Bernadette, mainly because Bernadette was my ace in the hole, man. She could do so much fucking damage. She got people. Hers and Petra's crits were fucking ridiculous, bro. I always had them on my list. Oh, you bought KOTOR on the Switch. That's what I'm talking about. Are you rewatching Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame? You see, Corey Gryffindor, I was going to It's funny you mentioned that because my friend Joaquin asked me the same thing. I wanted to include those in the mix, but Spider-Man has such little time in those films. Like, the most time he has is in Avengers Infinity War. And even then, you know, I just rewatched Avengers Infinity War and Endgame like 2 months back. So I don't really think I need to rewatch them just for the Spider-Man inclusion. We got people spamming in the chat. Mods, if anyone's spamming, go ahead and take care of it. Okay, I'm seeing some of your Black Friday purchases. Colin bought a lot of 4K Blu-rays, as you should, my friend, as you should. Julian Harris says, I was at work today and 2 people got into an argument over what cartoon of superheroes were better, DC or Marvel. They argued for an hour, then I stepped in and say, why does this matter? Just agree to disagree. Dude, that's what I'm saying. These days, like, I don't know. I just don't got the energy in me to argue with folks. There was a period in my life when I was all about that smoke. That was definitely circa 2011 to circa 2016. I was about that life, man. But honestly, after a while, I'd much rather have friendly banter and disagreements with my homies in my friend group than just argue with randoms about shit. Cause it's not worth it, man. Like, okay, you proved your point to somebody who's probably not gonna change their opinion. You exerted all this energy for nothing. So, like, if we're talking about Marvel versus DC cartoons, well, Marvel stopped producing good cartoons around 2000. Basically, Spectacular Spider-Man is where I kind of fell off. Because after that was canceled, I was like, yo, fuck this shit, bro. And everything after that, I mean, Avengers Assemble had some good episodes, but I liked Earth's Mightiest Heroes a lot more. Every now and then, some episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man were cool. But yeah, Marvel, they have a very different idea of what they want to do with their cartoons, at least for the past 10 years or so. That era of Marvel where we got things like Spectacular Spider-Man, Wolverine and the X-Men, X-Men Evolution, X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man, the animated series. That's a different era. And I was hoping that with Disney Plus, they might go back to that style of storytelling. But based off of what I've seen in What If... I mean, What If is okay for what it is, but it's not like any day of the week I'll put on an episode of X-Men the animated series over that. But we'll see what happens. You know, they got that Spider-Man freshman year show. They have the X-Men 97 relaunch, which is going to be interesting to see because that was not on my bingo list of announcements. You're telling me you're bringing back X-Men? As in the classic X-Men, like that iconic X-Men, still some of the best storytelling we've seen in a cartoon, man. Like you gotta give credit and props to those people, man. They were telling legitimate great storylines in the comics while trying to appeal to a Y7 demographic, and that's not an easy thing to do when you have really sensitive subject matter like the Phoenix Saga. Spider-Man, the animated series, you can definitely tell they had to censor a lot of the stuff in that show. Just the idea of characters dying or things like that. It was just always very ambiguous, you know? But if I had to give it to one company, I'd say DC, just because they've had more successful cartoons going forward. Like Young Justice, even though I'm not fully caught up with it, I know a lot of people are enjoying it, so that's fun. But yeah, the same problems that Marvel has, I see with DC as well. They just don't do anything with their characters. Like, they put out Young Justice. Okay, that's awesome. Fans want to see that. And then they put out Harley Quinn, which from what I'm hearing is actually really good. But then that's it, man. Like, you don't capitalize off of Wonder Woman. You don't capitalize off of Aquaman. You don't capitalize off of any of these characters. So what they do is they just do these weird... Either they do these like weird quirky shows with the characters, or they just revert back to doing a Batman show. That's it. Like, there's no in between. There's like no room for a legitimately great Wonder Woman animated series, which pains me because the last time we ever got Wonder Woman representation, at least in animated form, was the movie they did like back in 2009, 2008? Like, bro, come on now. Like, there's so many stories you could tell, but they just don't want to do it, man. And that kills me, bro. That kills me. I wish they would do more anime. Because the thing is, like I always tell y'all, these superhero stories, comic books, they're always like they're crafted and they're well suited for long form storytelling. And where can you get long form storytelling? Well, you can get that in TV. Live action obviously would be very expensive to do something like the Phoenix Saga, but you could do the Phoenix Saga animated, which is what they did. So you're telling me that you have literal like decades of storylines, decades of comics, and you can't make a competent animated series, like a beginning, a middle, an end. You can't show run it like a regular TV show. I don't know, man. I think it's just the stigma attached to animation here in the West. Like, it either has to be raunchy adult or it just appeals to kids. Now, we can get a lot of good stuff from both of those. We can get a lot of good adult animated shows, and we can get really funny kid shows, like things like Regular Time, The Loud House. Like, there's so many shows that are geared towards kids but are actually really good. But at the same time, a lot of those are not serialized storytelling shows. They're just basic, like, episode of the week, because that's how they appeal to kids. Like, oh, you can jump in on any episode and you won't be lost. Why can't we just get a show like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it's literally like you start from episode 1 and there's a story? Like, bro, Avatar was one of the most successful Western animated shows, and they don't do anything with that. Like, no other regular time. I'm sorry, regular show and Adventure Time. There we go. I was literally blending the two. That's how my brain works sometimes. I fuse things and I create new shows. It's called regular time. It's the crossover you guys would want if they did it. Adventure Time, regular shit. Yep, that's literally what it is. And I'm telling you, nowadays, you know what? With the success of shows like Castlevania, Arcane, and all that stuff on Netflix, I would love to see some of these studios actually take a risk and do an X-Men cartoon where it's like, okay, this is our incarnation of the characters, and these are the stories we want to tell. Maybe do that for Blade, maybe do that for Punisher, but, you know, everything is about the brand these days. Everything's about the brand, guys. It's brand this, brand that. Yeah. We have a 6, I think this is, I forgot what MYR, hold on, let me see. MYR currency. I want to say that's, oh, so Malaysian ringgit, I believe. Yeah, every time we go through this, I'm like, what exactly is this? Hold on. So we have a, let's see, a 6 Malaysian ringgit super chat from, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher this, bro. So I'm gonna try my best to see which one of these I can pronounce. Senin. From Senin, he asks, show your full design tee you're wearing now with standing. Okay, yeah, so for those who are interested in the shirt of the stream, what I've chosen for tonight, what are we rocking? Okay, this is what we're rocking, y'all. So we're rocking Yu Yu Hakusho, of course. You gotta rep Yu Yu Hakusho, because that's what we do around these parts. One of the best animes of all time, if y'all haven't seen it. As you can see right now, like, imagine I just did a whole stream standing up. Just a whole stream standing up, like, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? But yeah, rocking Yu Yu Hakusho for tonight. All right, let's see. I'm telling you, yeah, that's a Yu Yu Hakusho greatness, y'all. Let's see. Let me scroll back and answer some of these questions you guys asked. Have you been watching Stone Ocean featuring Best JoJo / Girl Jolie? Yeah, bro, you know, the second they dropped that shit, dude, I had just woken up. I was like, oh my god, what's happening today, bro? Oh shit, new JoJo's is out. I'm only halfway through the season. I think when I left off, I was on episode 6. But I literally sat and binged those 6 episodes back to back. So with any luck, I'll probably finish it all up tomorrow afternoon before work. And then I'll be all caught up until the next batch of episodes releases. But man, it's just sad though, because I'm not used to having this much JoJo available all at once, bro. I'm not used to it. I'm used to waiting like week to week and then waiting a few years for them to put out the next part. But nah, it's like, okay, here's all these episodes that you could binge right now, or you can enjoy it on your own time. You still gotta wait 3 years for the next one. I was like, damn it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying not to talk too much about spoilers, even though this part of the JoJo manga has been out forever. A lot of people have probably read it. I know there's a lot of anime only watchers here, because I only read JoJo Part 6 last year. So for me, it's like, oh, okay, awesome, I'm all caught up. But I know there's some people who are anime only, so I'm not really good against spoilers. But it's really good. It's extreme. It starts off so fucking wild, bro. Like if you've seen any of the screenshots, you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy, bro. But it's so good. It's so good, man. I don't know. It's always a good time when there's new JoJo stuff coming out. Like, I know people always like to pick and choose, like, oh, what's your favorite part, this, that, and whatever. You know, the cycle. You know, people love it, then they hate it, then they think it's underrated, then they love it again. I just enjoy all the JoJo parts, man. Like, the only part I think I'm really critical about as I age would have to be Stardust Crusaders. But at least the anime, because I don't feel like the anime needed to be as long as it did. It definitely needed to be longer, but not to the length it was for the anime. Because even when I go back and I try to rewatch Stardust Crusaders, I'm like, all right, well, there's definitely going to be a lull period when I'm watching it. But what's going on to all the new people joining in the chat? What's up, y'all? Good to see you. Good to see y'all. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for Steel Ball Run either. We got Mr. Platink in the chat. You could always share your JoJo. Wait, what? Anime? My bad. Mr. Platink, you coming here. You know what you're doing, man. You know what you're doing. But what about you guys? Have you guys been watching JoJo Part 6? What do you think about it? Hey, Rick Payne, what's good, bro? Oh, Rick Payne, we were talking about a lot of shit, man. We were talking about Spider-Man tickets. We were talking about Last of Us Part 2. We were just talking about JoJo Part 6. And yeah, you actually came at a good time, Rick Payne, because do you guys want us to go into I mean, there's only really one major topic to discuss this week. But do you guys want us to go into the main topic for tonight? Oh, Marcus, what's good, bro? So Netflix has a lot of JoJo. I'm not sure they have everything though. In fact, I'm going to do my due diligence for you, my friend. Hold up. Oh man, this Persona 5 music, I just want to go back and finish up Royal. Let me see what Netflix has. So Netflix has all right, so they have JoJo. Obviously, they have Part 6 on there. They have Part 5. Oh, they have everything on here. Holy shit. Yeah, Netflix has everything JoJo. Okay. So, yeah, if you want to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's on Netflix. There we go. Because I remember there was a time where it was like, yeah, you got to watch it on Crunchyroll. And that was it. But now it's all on Netflix. That's what's up. That just makes things really convenient, man. Because the thing is, like, I love having Crunchyroll and Funimation, but man, sometimes I just want them to poach Netflix's engineers and bring them to their service. Cause bro, trying to use the Crunchyroll app or the Funimation app, you just be over there fight. It's like you're fighting. It's like you're fighting the Sandman, bro. Just fighting the Sandman to live. I just want to watch my shows. I love how Persona invented. I love how Persona 5 invented jazz music. That's a fact, bro. Jazz did not exist until the year 2016. Just like Dark Souls invented difficulty in video games. What else? I love these trends. I love these fucking trends, bro. What was another one? There was another recent one where this happened. Oh, Breath of the Wild invented gliders. What else? There was something else recently. I was fucking cracking up, man. It was so funny. Okay, so everybody wants to talk about the topic for tonight. Okay, you guys. So like I said, this always happens as you get closer and closer to the end of the year. It's very, very sparse in terms of like gaming news, anime news, stuff like that. Because, you know, people, they want to save the announcements for more high profile times of the year. So always anticipate that like end of November, December, January-ish, very dry period for news. But we did learn something today, courtesy of Jason Schreier, about PlayStation and their future endeavors. So, to catch y'all up to speed, yesterday Jason Schreier broke a story that PlayStation and Sony, they're crafting their own subscription service. And when you hear subscription service, you think to yourself, oh shit, this is PlayStation's answer to Xbox Game Pass. Oh my god. But it's actually, it is and it isn't, because this service that PlayStation is gonna be crafting, it's codenamed Spartacus. It's basically what a lot of us have wanted PlayStation to do for the longest time, and by that I mean merging all of their existing services. Because one of the benefits about Xbox is that it's very easy to comprehend, right? You have Xbox Live, right, and then you have Xbox Live Gold. Right? So you have Xbox Live, that's your regular account where you can do free-to-play stuff. You have Xbox Live Gold, where you get access to multiplayer games, games of gold. Then you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you all of the perks of Xbox Live Gold, but with the access of Game Pass and all that good shit. So PlayStation is going to be doing a similar thing, because right now they have PlayStation Plus, right? So they have regular PlayStation Network, PlayStation Plus, and then they have PlayStation Now, which is their streaming service. Because Xbox did it right. They made sure that they bundled the streaming service with their most popular package, which is Xbox Game Pass, right? But PlayStation doesn't do that. Now is a separate service. So even if you were subscribed to PlayStation Plus and you were subscribed to PlayStation Now, that's two different services you're subscribed to, instead of just being under one package. So from what it's looking like right now, because they haven't announced the official details, they'll talk more about that early next year. They're going to have three different tiers, right? Where the first tier is going to be the regular PlayStation Plus stuff that we're all accustomed to, $60 a year. Then tier number 2 is going to be a combination of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. So whatever monthly, yearly rate that it's going to be, you get access to both services. So that makes things already more convenient. And then there's a third tier, which supposedly is going to grant players access to a lot of legacy content. Now, again, we do not know all the specifics as of yet because they haven't officially announced it. So everything is just kind of up in the air. But it's sounding like PlayStation might have found a way to circumvent their backwards compatibility problem. Because PlayStation has only ever had access to 3 generations at a specific time and no more. So with the PlayStation 3, that was the one where they had the most amount of backwards compatibility because it could play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 games. But if you weren't one of the people who bought like the original fat model, I think it was the 80 gig that had the PS2 backwards compatibility, you were shit out of luck, which was the vast majority of people, myself included. I didn't get a PS3 until they did the Slim remodel in 2009, right? So they gutted PlayStation 2 support from there, but you could still play some PlayStation 1 games. PlayStation 4, they just said, fuck it, we can't do anything about PS3 because it's a different architecture. PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, okay, we're going to do it, but they're not going to be, it's not native backwards compatibility. They're actually re-releasing the games individually. So it's just them going back and then they're making sure the game runs on PS4, adding in trophy support, maybe cleaning stuff up, upscaling, and all that good stuff. But it's not native backwards compatibility. It's not like Xbox where, even though that's not 100% native, you could still insert your 360 disc and Xbox One disc of, you know, the participating games, and you can play it no questions asked. So for PlayStation to have found a way around that, PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 support, I don't know how. I don't know if it's going to be native emulation or it's going to be done via streaming. My gut instinct tells me it might be streaming because that's the easiest approach out of anything. Because the unfortunate reality, and this is why Xbox kind of said, you know, goodbye to backwards compatibility, is because it's a very time-consuming process. Backwards compatibility, if it's not native, like you actually build a whole console into the new one, like the old console into the new one, more often than not, it's going to be done by emulation. And the problem with emulation, especially if you're doing it officially, is that there are a lot of, there's a series of checks you have to go through to certify that you could put those games out there and also sell those games. So like, let's take, for example, a game like Max Payne, right? Max Payne. That game came out on the original Xbox. They just recently added it to the backwards compatibility for Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles. Now, if it was just like any other emulator out there, they could just say, okay, put in your game, that's it. But they have to make sure it's certified and able to run within the Xbox ecosystem. So that's the first hurdle they have to overcome, no matter how easy of a process it is to emulate stuff. The second hurdle they have to overcome is licensing, royalties, legal paperwork, and being able to put it on the storefront. That's another big hurdle, because getting into licensing is an issue all on its own. And if you're in a situation where, okay, you're doing this backwards compatibility program, it's a labor of love. Obviously, it's not for profit because, listen, Xbox don't really be making money like that off that backwards compatibility, bro. Listen, it's just a pure labor of love for the fans to get them goodwill because no one is out there buying all these old games like that. We appreciate, and it's cool that we can be like, oh, wow, I can replay Skate 3 on my Xbox Series X. But if you looked at the sales for Skate 3, I guarantee you it's not pushing the needle. It's not like, oh wow, we really need to get on doing backwards compatibility. So it's a labor of love, and when you're doing something that's a labor of love and it's time consuming and you're not seeing returns, there is going to come a point where you've done all you can. And with some of these licensees, right, some of these publishers for those older games, if you want to sell them on the store, you have to get them to sign off on it. And unfortunately, a lot of those publishers do not exist anymore, right? So a lot of those cult classic games we used to love to play, some of those publishers or developers might not even exist, so they just live in this perpetual state of limbo, and that's the unfortunate reality. So when it comes to Xbox, right, they have the reason why you see a lot of I wouldn't say weird games on there, but games you don't expect, is because Xbox is going after the publishers that exist right now that are available, and they own their games full sale. So that's why a lot of the LucasArts games, those are showing up on backwards compatibility. And they're also showing up as ports on other platforms, and they're re-releasing. Why? Because Lucasfilm, LucasArts, their game division, it still exists. And obviously people still want to talk about Star Wars. So yeah, they're going to resell it. Like KOTOR just came out on the Switch, for Christ's sake. And they made the Revenge of the Sith game they made backwards compatible for no fucking reason. Like that game, no one was really checking for like an almost 20-year-old game, but they're like, you know what? We can sign off on this. Boom, you can play Revenge of the Sith on your Xbox. But yeah, even then, Microsoft had to say, you know, we've exhausted all we can do from a logistics standpoint. This is the final batch of backwards compatibility. So for PlayStation, knowing they don't have the cash that Microsoft does to go ahead and make these labor of love for the fans type of moves, they have to be really selective. And that's why if you look at the list of PS2 games on PS4, it's very small by comparison. Of course, you have some big notable titles, but look at how many games released on PS2. Look at some of the biggest games on PS2 that could have been on PS4 that aren't. It just comes down to the logistics and working with those other publishers, developers, the time that it takes to port them over, adding in trophy support certification. It's a big deal. So I would not be surprised if PlayStation does go the streaming route, just because it is easier to have a lot of those games and you don't have to certify them every single time if you want to go ahead and create a playable build. So I get it, but for me, you know, as someone who loves like the PlayStation 2, as you guys know, is one of my all-time favorite consoles. Streaming those old games is like, I'm not saying that it can't be a good experience, because if you play Xbox xCloud and you have a good connection, it can be a good experience depending on the game. But man, there's just something so beautiful about, like on my Vita, for example, my Vita still gets a lot of play because I'm able to download a lot of PlayStation 1 games. And if the Vita was able to play PlayStation 2 games, like, yo, we just added in PlayStation 2 support for the Vita, like, bro, the Vita would be my #1 favorite handheld for that exact reason. But I understand why they can't do it. It sucks, but it is what it is. But there was all this talk about this being like the competitor to Xbox Game Pass, because a lot of people, they view two things: subscription service, and with the second tier, which is PS Plus and PS Now, you're going to get access to more PS4 and PS5 games. So here is where I think the comparisons start to get drawn, right? I don't think that PlayStation is going to go the same route as Microsoft. I don't think that they're going to start doing day and date. Why? Because they cannot afford to do day and date. Sony, not PlayStation. Sony is being held up by this division. Like, I don't think anyone out there is just sitting here saying, no, they aren't. Like, PlayStation brings in a shit ton of revenue for Sony. They've got their other endeavors. Of course, they make TVs, they make cameras, they do a lot of stuff for other companies. They work with Apple. But if we're talking about the revenue and the just sheer, the brand power that is associated, PlayStation is at the top of their list. Like, there's a reason why PlayStation is a lineage. There's a reason why people celebrate 25 years of PlayStation and beyond, because they've done such a good job over the past couple of generations. But the thing is, even so, they don't have the backing of a $1 trillion corporation like Microsoft. Like, Sony makes money, but they don't make nowhere near the amount to come out with a subscription service and put our like $100 to $300 million games on that service. Microsoft can afford to do that because, well, they're all about getting the name out, and they're all about reoccurring revenue. They're all about metrics. They're all about engagement. That is what a lot of tech companies are about. It's not necessarily about how many units we sell of something. It's how many times we can get people engaged and buying stuff and talking about things, right? So Microsoft would be more happy to report this is the amount that our Xbox Game Pass subscribers grew versus saying this is the amount of Xbox Series consoles we sold this quarter. Why? Because to investors, reoccurring revenue is more appealing than just how many units you sell in a quarter, which can be extremely variable. Even with Netflix is still a very valuable company, even when they take dips. Like, there's no real major high profile shows coming. They might take a dip. People might say, oh my God, this is the end of Netflix, but it's not, because it goes right back up when they get a lot more new content or reoccurring content that keeps people coming back. Like, that's what it's all about in this day and age. So I don't think PlayStation has the power to do that, but honestly, they don't need to do that, because they've built such, like I said, going back to the lineage and the legacy, they've built such a foundation where they don't need a subscription service like that where they have to put their games on the service. Xbox, on the other hand, does. Because remember, you guys, that the whole last generation was not doing so hot for Microsoft to the Xbox console. Now it's looking up because, you know, they purchased Bethesda and they have access to content on a continuous basis. And with access to content on a continuous basis, that makes a lot of people have their subscription service. So like, okay, you know what? I'll stay subscribed because I know in 3 months there's going to be a new major AAA third-party game coming to Game Pass. And then a month after that, there's going to be an in-house Microsoft title. And then a month after that, there's going to be a new indie title. So there's always something. There's just a constant flow in this pipeline. But for PlayStation, I can see it being really feasible for them to put out this service and maybe do what Xbox Game Pass does in securing third-party deals. So you might not see the God of Wars, you might not see the Spider-Mans, you might not see any of those for a good couple of years, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see, like, let's say, let's say PlayStation already has this service in place, right? The second tier costs you, I don't know, $15 a month. Let's just make it the Game Pass price. $15 a month for this tier. 1 month, PlayStation is able to put out on that service for tier 2, they'll put out the Chrono Cross remake, because we've been hearing rumors that that's in development. That would be a major get for the service. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't subscribed to the service, so they're going to buy the game, no questions asked. But there's going to be a shit ton of people who are going to subscribe to that tier just because they can play that new game. Or let's say, for example, the sequel to Death's Door, right? Death's Door 2, Too Fast, Too Bird. I don't know. If Daniel Pack was in here, he could come up with a funny pun for a bird. I can see PlayStation exclusive, like, securing an indie deal for that. Now, they already do that for PlayStation Plus, but they've really slowed down for a lot of the more high-profile indies. Like, every now and then they'll put out something like Oddworld. It was, like, I believe, like, one of the last big ones, but the era of PlayStation where they put out the really big indies on Plus, I think that's kind of over. So I could see that happening in that tier 2. But where I think PlayStation will really shine with this service is their multiplayer endeavors. So what was the one thing that PlayStation got criticized a lot last generation? Lack of online games, period. Like, they did not have a presence in online gaming. And at the time, a lot of people said, you know what, that's not up to PlayStation. They don't need to do that. They can just let their third-party publishers do that. They can let Destiny do that. They can let Fortnite do that. They can let Apex run wild. And that's a sound argument, but it's not good for growth. Look at what Xbox is doing. Like, people always say, like, Xbox, I don't know why they greenlight this game, they greenlight that game, whatever, if they don't end up being good. That's true. Xbox has definitely greenlit some stinkers in the past. But every now and then, you get a game that's not a stinker. Every now and then, you get a game that's like, oh, that was actually really cool. So stuff like Grounded has a lot of engagement. Sea of Thieves, when it finally found its footing, it's one of the most played games on Xbox. They have tons of reoccurring players on that game. It's ridiculous. Same thing for State of Decay. So Microsoft has the online game on lock. They're focused on working on single player games. PlayStation has the single player game on lock. Now they're focused on online stuff. And I mean, when you look at their investments in the studios in the UK, how they're just really focusing on multiplayer stuff. Like they this one studio, I forgot what it was called. They showed it off at the Summer Games event. They had like I think ex Activision employees, ex Bungie employees, like a bunch of people who know how to make online shooters. They hired them for that company. Destructive Games, was that what it was called? Demolition Games? I don't know. Someone will correct me in the comments. They have that. Then they have Fire Sprite Studio in the UK, and I believe they expanded that studio as well. And they're working on some online focused games. Jade Raymond's studio, I would not be surprised if their project is an online focused game. So PlayStation, they're going back to what they did in the PS3 era, where they're trying to see what sticks. In the PS3 era, they had like Resistance, Killzone, Starhawk, Uncharted, Little Big Planet, Mod Nation Racers, MotorStorm. They had so many games, Twisted Metal, that had online support, but the problem was they launched so many of them in a short amount of time. Like Resistance 3, Killzone 3, SOCOM, and I think there was something else that came out in 2011 that had multiplayer, but we'll just say for those three all launched in the same year. Now, one of them took an L because it launched during the PlayStation outage, that being SOCOM. But launching both the Resistance and Killzone in the same year, even if they appeal to different demographics, that's still it's still 2 online games that you have to support. So they're going back to that, but I think they're going to be a lot more strategic, where if they brought back Resistance in some way, shape, or form, and they made it an online reoccurring game, and they add in survival elements as you traverse the world, I think that would be amazing, man. So I'm excited to see if they introduce those games. Like, they'll still sell them for $70, but if you're subscribed to this service, maybe you get access to the multiplayer portion of a Resistance reboot. I think that's a perfect way to entice people into the service, because they're not giving away the full game, but they're giving away a very active part of the game, the one that they're banking on the most. Like the single player, of course, for reviews and pedigree, they'll be like, yeah, we love it. But what they love even more is that reoccurring revenue. So if they get a Resistance game that's got a great campaign and they have a multiplayer that has legs and it progresses for years, I can see them biting the bullet, putting that part into the service. And if you want the campaign, you can buy the campaign yourself. So yeah, that's what I think they're going to do as far as that tier is concerned. Everything else, though, I think it's just going to be icing on top. Depending on how it fares, I'll probably subscribe to the service, because if they give you a lot of value and bundle everything else in there, it just makes my life so much easier. Like, my life is so easy now, just paying $15 a month for Game Pass. Like, that's it. I don't got to worry about paying for Gold and Game Pass. You know, it just makes it very convenient, man. So yeah, for a lot of people referring to this as a Game Pass competitor, I don't necessarily think so. I do think it was influenced by Xbox Game Pass, because Game Pass is, you can't ignore it in the industry. You really can't. It's been making a lot of waves. The subscriber count is going up, and it's only going to go up from here with all the other games coming out. Like, once they start releasing Starfield, Redfall, Avowed, Hellblade 2, Fable. Oh my god, I just restarted the first Fable again, you guys. Oh my god, I can't fucking wait. Once they start getting all those heavy hitters, it's going to be a very, very different conversation about Game Pass. And I think PlayStation is just trying to set the groundwork for a subscription service where they can bundle everything together, work on the infrastructure of PlayStation Now, and then also bring people into the mix of their multiplayer titles. Because it's one thing... Okay, it's one thing to sell, let's say, like Resistance, for example. We love Resistance. A lot of us here in the chat love Resistance. But would Resistance sell in 2021? Would newcomers to the franchise buy a Resistance reboot? Now, if it's a really good game and it gets positive word of mouth, of course, you'd get a lot of people interested in checking out Resistance. But that's still a very big risk at $70. Like, look at the PlayStation 5 exclusives right now and look at their sales numbers. For PS5 exclusives, it's not really that high. Now, it's very respectable considering, you know, 1 out of every 10, or I think it's like 1 out of 10 people who own a PS5 own like Demon Souls or I think Ratchet or something like that. So that's not bad for being out on the market for a year. And also, given the pandemic, like we can't ignore that as well. But is that enough to justify rebooting Resistance and spending what I assume is going to be north of $100 million? Because that's what the budgets for a lot of these games are. So if you do something like what Xbox is doing right now, maybe not to the same degree as offering day and date, but offering parts of it on your service, that could entice people. Because if somebody really likes the multiplayer portion of this Resistance reboot, and they're like, okay, I want to see what the single player campaign is hitting for, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the whole game myself. Like, there's gonna be some people, like, dude, there were games on Game Pass that I played that I absolutely loved, and I'm like, you know what, I just want to own this. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. I want to own it even though I've completed it. I just want to own it if I ever get into a mood of playing it again, because, you know, Game Pass contracts I think are like, what, around a year, something like that. So yeah, I would love to see them bring back a lot of legacy content. And if they could find a way, if Mark Cerny, if that wizard can find a way to get all those games running natively, even if it's not the full library, I want to play the Jak and Daxter collection on my PS5 alongside Ratchet and Clank, alongside Sly Cooper, alongside the original God of War games. But as it stands right now, the only games I can play on my PS5 from that list are the Jak and Daxter games and God of War 3 Remastered. That's it, man. It sucks. That's why I'm so tempted, since my PS3 is not working, to just go ahead and buy another PS3. I don't know. I'll probably be spending way more money than I need to, but there's just something so novel about that generation, and a lot of the games like 3D Game Heroes, you know? 3D Game Heroes is still stuck on there. And Anthony brought up a really good point as well. All of this pretty much means that Game Pass is about to get even better. Yeah, absolutely, because you know, if this PlayStation thing kicks off and people love it, Microsoft is going to look at that like, well, wait a minute, hold up. Our claim to fame was this subscription service, and now they have one, and they have their big budget blockbuster games. We got to do something else. That's going to prompt Microsoft to do a lot of things, like maybe securing more third-party deals, or like, okay, you know what? I'm going to open this up to you guys in the chat. If this PlayStation subscription service takes off and it lights the world on fire, what do you think Microsoft will do to try to bolster Xbox Game Pass? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say they don't need to because it's not the same service, and PlayStation, they'll never do day and date. So that's Microsoft's competition. Microsoft has that. That's their ace in the hole, that they have day and date, and all of their first-party games are going to be on the service. That is true. But if you guys had to, if you were in that situation where PlayStation is doing their thing, and they introduce a subscription service and it's really good, what would Microsoft do? What would you do as the head of Xbox to bolster Game Pass? Like for me, if I hadn't already done it, EA Play would be a part of the service. The Ubisoft, what is the Ubisoft thing? Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft, I don't know. Everyone's got their own subscription service. I'd probably add that service to Game Pass. I'd probably secure more third-party deals. I'd work with a hell of a lot more Japanese companies, I'll tell you that. I would not buy a whole company. Like, I would not buy another publisher. I wouldn't do that. I would just make a lot of deals. You know what I would do? This is what I would do. Okay. This is going to sound unconventional. Instead of buying publishers, I would, if I was the head of Xbox and I wanted to bolster the brand, I would go to particular publishers and I would start pitching games, right? So I would go to Ubisoft and I would pitch a new Splinter Cell game, because obviously Ubisoft doesn't want to make it, and there are rumors that they're making a new Splinter Cell game, but modern Ubisoft, I do not trust. I don't trust a live service Splinter Cell game. Please no. What I would do is I'd be like, yo, Ubisoft, we want to buy the Splinter Cell license for one game, right? You'll get whatever revenue we negotiate on that game. We'll do all the heavy lifting. We'll pick the talent. We'll develop it. All you have to do is sign off on it and you get your whatever cut it is. Could you imagine if Xbox did that and they contracted IO Interactive to work on a new Splinter Cell game, or any other studio out there, like the Coalition or something else? That would be insane, because that game would be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. It would be available only on Xbox and, you know, PC by extension. I would love that shit. I would love that, because that's truly competitive. Just like what PlayStation did and how they went and they secured the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, and it's exclusive, I believe, for like, what, a year or two? I don't know. That is some baller shit, bro. That's what it's all about. But what about you guys? Oh, I love this Persona track that's playing. Okay, so I'm seeing some comments. Jimbo says they could have their backwards compatible titles, including like Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect on Game Pass. Yeah, that's good, Jimbo, but it goes back to what we were saying before. That stuff is more like the sprinkles on the icing on the cake. It's not even the icing itself, because if the cake is the console and Game Pass, the icing on the cake would be something like day and date third-party deals, and then sprinkles on top would be backwards compatibility. Because it would be nice. It's a good move. It's a goodwill gesture, but they ain't selling like 100,000 copies a week of Time Splitters backwards compatibility, you know? Let's see. Alan V says, has anyone realized that Xbox has got more exclusives in the work than PlayStation, both announced and unannounced? Sony needs to start buying more studios so they can match Xbox. Well, that may be true, Alan, because of the nature of them buying Bethesda. It's a whole publisher. at the end of the day, everything does become about quality over quantity. And I'm not saying that Xbox does not have quality. But, you know, look at what PlayStation has been able to do with just a handful of studios and the games they've put out. And now they've expanded and acquired more. They said they have like, what, 25 plus games in development. So if all the, let's just say realistically, 20 out of those 25 games are all bangers, like legit bangers, legit amazing. And then Xbox puts out 40 games, and 20 of those that are in that list are decent. Another 20 of those are okay, like I'll play this but nothing else. And then the last 10 are amazing bangers. Like, what would you really want, you know? So everything for me goes back, like, yes, there is a line to be drawn between quality and quantity, and there can be some overlap, but I would rather focus more on cultivating the talent and the teams to be able to get to the point where we make these games, we're really good at making these games, but let's do something different. Like how Guerrilla pivoted from Killzone to Horizon. How Sucker Punch has pivoted from Sly Cooper to Infamous and now Ghost of Tsushima. And Naughty Dog, like, it's like every generation they do something new. I can't wait to see what they do this gen. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a thing to mention, but again, at the end of the day, everything does become about the final product of the games versus what we think about them, you know? Alrighty, so let's see. Let me go back and answer a couple of super chats, because I went out and we just did this whole entire topic, so I apologize for getting to these super chats kind of late. Thank you guys so much. So the first one's coming in from Colin, my boy. 17 months and counting of being a member of, he's not even a Phantom Weirdos member on the YouTube membership. He's the next Hokage, so he's at the top of that list. So Colin, my man, thank you so much for your support, as always. You honestly deserve the support. Oh, thank you, bro. Here's a tough question for you. How would you rank every single MCU film? I know it's tough. You can count the Netflix and Disney shows too. Okay, so this, all right, so if we're going, all right, I gotta, let me go ahead and go down the list. All right, so we're getting into some MCU rankings right now. Hold on. Let's rank the list. You know what? Wait, can't I use that that I've never used that tier site thing. What's that tier site thing everyone's talking about? Like, you see it everywhere, like A, B, C, D, F, terrible. I gotta tier rankings. I've never done that shit. Tier list maker for everything. Do I have to add all the individual movies, or they probably have a template here? Yeah, they probably have a template here. Hold on, let me type in like the MCU or something. Because I would definitely, we can rank the MCU movies tonight. Okay, does this have everything? Okay, this has everything. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna rank the MCU movies tonight, you guys. But real quick, before we do that, I do want to tackle two of the other super chats. So 199 for Corey Gryffindor. Kingdom Hearts 2 invented revenge value. So that's actually going back to the question I asked. Like, you know how when people say this game is the Dark Souls of whatever, like Dark Souls invented everything, like Breath of the Wild invented open world games. Kingdom Hearts 2 invented revenge. Let's see. It's 279 from Leon. Microsoft has that FU money. Yeah, they got that screw you money. We don't care. They got that fuck around because it's fun. And 499 coming in from the homie John McKinney. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Mine is Bad Santa. It's so goddamn funny, and I can't stop laughing every time I watch it. So Christmas movies I'm kind of indifferent to. Like, I love watching Home Alone every single year. It's one of my favorites. But honestly, John McKinney, if I'm being real, I like watching a lot of Christmas themed episodes of shows. So I always love watching the Christmas episode of the Boondocks. I love the first Family Guy Christmas special. The one that okay, I'll say this is my all-time favorite Christmas episode of anything, and that I get emotional to think about this one. It's the Christmas episode of Hey Arnold. That episode, every single time I watch it every year. Every single year I cry, and every single year I somehow cry even more than the last time, man. That episode is so fucking heavy. Like, oh my god, man. So I would say, like, Christmas movies, I mean, it's kind of tough because, you know, I don't really watch too many Christmas movies like that. But shows, definitely. So I would say the Hey Arnold episode. Oh, this man's saying, let's go Hey Arnold. No, let's not go Hey Arnold. That episode is just... Oh, my God. Oh, the Toradora Christmas episode. Oh, that's true. Dude, I'm telling you, that episode of Hey Arnold was just... Bro. It did not need... Well, then again, Hey Arnold is a very, very emotional show when you think about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this... Let's get the... You guys ready to rank some movies? Okay, so let me go ahead and... Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to do some live editing real quick on my stream. Where was it? Was it... Okay, sorry about that, guys. I like I said, there's always a dirt moment. There's always a dirt moment in this stream. Sorry about that. Why did this stop? Hold on, let me replay this. Okay. Okay, so everything is good. You guys can hear me. You can hear that, right? Sorry. So I just found out they dropped a trailer for Spider-Verse 2, which I would watch on stream, guys, but you know, I don't want to get copyrighted. But yeah. So till then, what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be ranking the MCU movies. I've always seen people do these ranking things, but I've never really contributed to it. You know, I'm not really a ranking kind of guy. But Colin, my boy, said, how would you rank all the MCU movies? So we might as well. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be like a definitive ranking, because I'm the type of person where like every 5 years or so I go back and I either rewatch or replay or whatever, like whatever it is, insert thing here of entertainment, I go back and I see if like my feelings are still the same or they change. Because, you know, I'm a firm believer that like people change, we grow every single day. So, you know, obviously your opinions might change. So things might change from now in 2021, damn near 2022, going into like 2027. But for the time being, this will be like my rankings of stuff in the MCU. So we're just gonna limit it to the movies tonight. Do you guys want to start with the best and then work your way down to the worst, or what? And I feel like we should adjust the tiers as well, because so here's the thing, I don't think there's really like an objectively terrible, like I can't even watch this MCU movie. I don't think there is. There's like some really ones, but I would leave them in like the D rankings. Or actually, you know what I'll do? Just to make it easy to understand. Hold on. I'll do, wait, it went away. I'll do prob never rewatch. There we go. And we'll just make that black. Oh, well, obviously not the text. Can I change the text color? I don't think so. Yeah, we'll make it purple. Prob never rewatch. S tier obviously goes without saying. C tier. C tier would be, I'll put like C tier's like decent, nothing crazy. But decent. B, I'll put no, what would I put for B tier? B is like really good but not great. Really good but not great. I don't know, maybe there's too many. All right, so do we really need 5? See, now we're getting into the specifics. Do we really need 5 tiers? I don't know, because for me it's like God tier movies, dope movies, I'm kind of whatever, and then probably never rewatch. So we can delete a tier. Let's delete this row. So I think we only need 4, to be honest. You know what? For future rankings, I'll use like Neo terms, like whatever my Neo isms that you guys can come up with. We'll probably use that as like a ranking list. So we'll do dope, and then S tier we'll do. You know what? This is Neo worthy. Neo book worthy. That's me right there. That's me right there. So here we go, guys. So we're going to be ranking all of the MCU movies with 4 different categories, right? So Steelbook worthy, for those who are just tuning in. Steelbook worthy. Am I still muted? Am I still muted? Wait, I don't think. Am I still muted? Someone said muted, unless they came in, unless they're behind a few minutes. No, I think I'm good, right? Oh, okay, we're good? All right. Okay, so here we go. Ranking all of the MCU movies. I have 4 tiers here. Now, number 1 at the top, we have Steelbook worthy. Steelbook worthy to me is legit God tier, S tier. One of my all-time favorite movies in the MCU. I can rewatch it back to back, no questions asked. Then, further down the list, we have Dope. So it's an MCU movie that is really friggin' good. Might buy it on Steelbook, but if I don't, I'm definitely buying it day 1, 4K Blu-ray. Third tier, decent movies. Movies that, you know, I enjoyed my time watching it. Probably not going to rush out there and buy it day 1 on Blu-ray. And I would only really rewatch it if I'm doing a marathon of sorts. Now the fourth tier is probably never gonna rewatch. So these are movies that I just didn't fuck with for whatever reason. Movies that I have no desire of owning in my collection, even as somebody who likes owning complete sets. The only time I would ever buy these movies is if I buy a complete series box set. So what do you guys want to start with? Do you want to start with Steelbook worthy, or do you want to get really spicy and go probably never rewatch? What do you guys want? And I'll be speaking a little bit on the movies when I do add them to the list. So don't worry about that. But I'm not going to be doing like full on reviews, like spending 10 minutes talking about why I love XYZ. Oh, and I noticed they have the TV series here too. But the TV series, I don't know, man. All the TV series will probably be in the same category for me, to be honest. $2 super chat from Flame. Change the worst to cheeks. You know what? Just for you, Flame. Yeah. I'll just change it to cheeks. Damn it. Straight cheeks. There we go. So we have Steelbook worthy, dope, decent, and straight cheeks. All right, so least favorite first. Least favorite always. Oh, okay, I got you, Ultimate Power. I got you, bro. Okay, so we're gonna start with straight cheeks. Now, mind you, this doesn't mean that the movie is like legit dog shit, terrible, 1 out of 10. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just a movie that didn't gel with me personally. Maybe it was really boring. Maybe it did something bad to the canon, or just in general not interesting whatsoever. So we're going to start that list with Captain Marvel. Now, here's the thing. I don't hate Captain Marvel as much as a lot of people do, as much as the weirdo neckbeard basement dwellers online do. But to me, this movie didn't really add anything into the MCU. Carol Danvers as a character, I didn't really feel much for her in this movie. And honestly, you could have taken her out of Endgame and the movie would have been exactly the same. You could give her role to somebody else or do something else entirely to change that final climax, and it would have been exactly the same. Now, there was some cool stuff about, like, to learn about in the movie, like the just learning more about the cosmic side of the MCU, her supporting cast and how they're going to go into the future. Seeing a de-aged Nick Fury was awesome, but anything involving Carol herself, I didn't care much for. And I love Brie Larson as an actress. I think she's fantastic. So yeah, Captain Marvel, there's a reason why I don't own it on Blu-ray. And keeping with this theme of female-led superhero movies, we've got Black Widow. Again, similar things to Captain Marvel. I feel like Black Widow didn't really add much. It was a movie that should have been made 10 years ago. Same thing with Captain Marvel. And the fact that they put this out now, for that time period, the 2 years going from Civil War to Endgame, to Infinity War, I didn't need to hear that story at all. Like, the only worthwhile thing we got out of this movie was how Natasha got that jacket, and Yelena. And Yelena is fucking awesome. She saved this movie. There was a lot of other stuff in that film I just didn't care for. I hated Taskmaster. But yeah, it's just one of those weak, underwhelming movies. And no, I have not seen anything about the Spider-Verse 2 trailer. I'm gonna be watching it after the stream, guys. So yeah, we have Captain Marvel, Black Widow, and then from there, let's put Thor: The Dark World. Same thing, except honestly, I feel like this is the first major example of directors and the studio clashing heavy. Because with Thor: The Dark World, even when I saw it in theaters, I was like, okay, some of the things here are better than the first Thor movie, but a lot of things aren't as good. And I feel like we should have gotten a different movie than what we did. Like, the villain in this movie was basically non-existent, and the only thing you really got from Thor: The Dark World was the fact that it was referenced in Avengers Endgame, and they kind of retroactively made that movie better, but I still don't want to watch Thor: The Dark World. So we got that there. Next up on the list, we have got, let's see. We're gonna put Iron Man 3, and we're gonna put Iron Man 2 as well. I mean, the thing about the Iron Man movies is I love Robert Downey Jr. I love his supporting cast, but what I got from the first Iron Man movie was nowhere to be found in the second and the third. The second was just glorified world building for the sake of. In the third movie, I don't even know what the fuck they were doing in that one. But yeah, so I ranked those in this list. And then from there, let's see. Is there anything else I really want to add in that tier? Okay, so this one is probably going to be a little controversial, I know. But I am going to add What If into the Straight Cheeks tier. Now again, Straight Cheeks tier does not mean that it's absolutely terrible, awful, not worth a damn. But what if, when I was looking back at all the MCU shows, I would say what if that would be the last one I rewatch, because I didn't gain anything from What If. It had a couple of interesting concepts with some of the episodes, but right before it got interesting, boom, the episode is over. And, you know, maybe some of this stuff will be further developed in season 2. I'm not sure. But WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, they all at least gave me something to latch onto with the characters. The only thing I was able to latch on into this show was the Doctor Strange episode. That was it. Like, everything else was interesting, but the fact that there wasn't like a legit cohesive narrative until the very end of it, it didn't work for me. Let's see, anything else in here that I just don't want to rewatch again? No, I think that's it for me personally. So now we're gonna move up to the decent tier. Again, decent tier is a movie or show I really enjoyed at the time, but I probably don't have any interest in rewatching outside of doing a marathon. So it's something I really enjoyed, but I have no interest in going back to unless I absolutely need to. And we are going to put the first Thor movie in there. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. It had some good things, but I just couldn't gel with Kenneth Branagh's directing style. How he had a lot of Dutch angles, and there were just some things with the characterization of Loki and Thor, their relationship, that I didn't like. So that's the first Thor movie. In addition to that, we are going to put the Incredible Hulk as well. The last time we got a good Hulk movie, it was absolutely a shame that was almost 14 years ago. Let's see, anything else I want to add? Avengers Age of Ultron, of course, that goes on the list. It had some interesting things, a lot of darker moments with the characters, but at the same time, I just don't feel like we really did too much in Avengers Age of Ultron. And then from there, I'm going to add Falcon and Winter Soldier. I can't add Hawkeye because that's still ongoing. So we're going to put Falcon and Winter Soldier in there. Anything else? I'm going to put... this is tough. This might piss some people off. But I'm going to put Spider-Man Far From Home in the decent tier. No desire to rewatch. And that's the crazy thing. This is the crazy thing. Y'all might look at me like, what? But sooner rewatch Spider-Man 3 than Spider-Man Far From Home. Because at least with Spider-Man 3, it's one cohesive movie from beginning to end. You might not agree with a lot of things in there. Cool. But with Spider-Man Far From Home, I was bored out of my mind for 80% of the movie. It wasn't until the final act where I was like, shit's getting going. That was it. Everything else, the whole high school shit, I was done and I was over with. So that's why that's there. In addition to that, I'm gonna put WandaVision, Loki, and let's see. I'm gonna put the second Ant-Man movie, right? Now, all three of these series, well, two series and one movie I enjoyed, but it's just one of those things. Like in the case of Ant-Man, I really enjoyed Ant-Man because after Infinity War, we all needed a break. We needed a fucking break, man. And Ant-Man and the Wasp was that nice little palate cleanser. So that's why it's decent, but I'll probably not like rewatch it all the time. Loki, really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I feel like the second season is where shit's really gonna pop off. Because the thing about Loki is that you're always interested in, like, okay, what's the mystery of the timekeepers? What's the mystery of this, that, whatever? And for a couple episodes in there, I wasn't really too interested in what was going on. That last episode, I was like, oh fuck yes, give me all this stuff. But again, that was just the last episode. But still, really good show. Like, if I had to rank it in this category, Loki is definitely the best out of all the decent stuff. Same thing for WandaVision. WandaVision had an ongoing mystery attached to it. Really great acting with the characters, really great character moments for Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. But you know, like, once the mystery is already solved, I have no desire to go back and rewatch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first 1 or 2 episodes, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Where does this go? Oh, okay, cool. But do I want to relive all that stuff again? Like, for example, the mystery and the intrigue of watching something like Seven, right? That movie. Even though I already know what's going to happen in 7, I'm still interested in watching that movie over. Same thing for Zodiac. Like, that's just the difference that, you know, with good quality mystery and storytelling. Same thing for Knives Out. Great example as well. All right. Let's see. Anything else in this list? All right. So obviously we cannot count Spider-Man. We can't count Hawkeye because they're not out yet. I'm going to put Eternals in here as well. Very interesting concepts, but just the execution wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't care for most of the characters in this movie. If anything, it should have worked as a Disney Plus show. But obviously, you know, because of the budget, they didn't want to do that. But yeah, like, I'd put Eternals in there. In addition to, let's see. I'm going to put, I think that's all the things I want to put. Yeah. Okay. So that's that list for decent. Now we're moving into the dope category. So dope is stuff that, like, I really, really friggin' enjoyed. Probably see it maybe one more time in theaters. If I can't get the Steelbook, I will most certainly be there to buy the 4K Blu-ray if that's available. So basically, it's a movie that I will rewatch at least once or twice a year. So we're just going to get some stuff out of the way. That's going to be the first Captain America movie. I know this is like the black sheep of the MCU. A lot of people, they don't really fuck with the first Captain America movie, but I loved it because it was a great foundation for things to come, as most trilogies are. And it's just, I'm a sucker for really well-made period pieces, and Captain America: The First Avenger is still like one of the best World War II pieces that we've seen in genre entertainment. So that's why I put that there. Let's see. I'm gonna put the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I enjoyed the second Guardians movie a lot because I do love the Guardians. I love the interactions. I love the more personal moments, and of course, Yondu and just that whole scene. Oh my fucking god. But the humor was not as strong as the first movie. In some situations, I'd say they leaned too heavily into the humor in Guardians 2. But it's still a solid, enjoyable movie I'd watch again. Let's see. Next movie in the list, I'm gonna put Thor Ragnarok in there. Thor Ragnarok is actually my favorite Thor movie, you guys. I know I'm gonna catch some flack from people, but I love Thor Ragnarok. Like, yes, is it very goofy? Absolutely. Should the story of Ragnarok probably had a little bit more seriousness and weight attached to it? Sure. But when you compare that to the first 2 Thor movies, dude, this scene, Thor becoming the god of thunder at the end, and that whole scene with Immigrant Song playing in the background, I will rewatch that clip 100 times on YouTube before I sit through the first 2 Thor movies again. So that's why that ranks so high in my list. From there, we are going to put Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming is definitely, between this and Far From Home, I prefer this a lot more because it was a very fresh take on Spider-Man. You know, the John Hughes vibes and the stuff that they injected in that. It was the right Spider-Man movie at the time. It's what the world needed. And I loved what they did with Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Like, that reveal. Oh my god, I still remember being in the theater and then literally Peter going to go pick up Liz, and then who opens the door but Michael Keaton. And everyone in the theater was just like, ooh, like nobody expected that. So I loved that shit. So yeah, I really enjoy Spider-Man Homecoming, and I actually cannot wait to rewatch it soon. Then from there, we are going to add the first Ant-Man movie. So here's the thing. Ant-Man is the first time I ever had to eat my words when it came to an MCU movie, because Ant-Man, going into it, like, I was a big fan of Edgar Wright. Like, I loved Edgar Wright and what he did on all his movies, and the fact that he was working on Ant-Man, I was very excited. But, you know, shit didn't work out. He was supposed to do this movie back in 2008, and then things changed from 2008 to 2015, so unfortunately he wasn't able to work on the project. But for what they were able to pull off, like this heist movie, a different type of humor injected into the MCU, and I really love the supporting cast. Like, I was one of those people where I found out they were doing Scott Lang, and I said, no, do Hank Pym. Hank Pym is the more interesting Ant-Man. Why are you relegating him to a background character and you're gonna make Scott Lang? I don't want to see Paul Rudd. Then I saw the movie and I was like, this show's actually pretty good, bro. Like, it's not for everybody because they want all their superhero movies to be super serious and not goofy. But sometimes you need shit like Ant-Man in your life, bro. Let's see. From there, I'm gonna put Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange is, it's always one of the movies that people don't talk much about because it's so similar to the first Iron Man movie. The first Iron Man movie and Doctor Strange, both their characters, I mean, obviously, Stephen Strange and Tony Stark, two very, very gifted people, gifted individuals, very smart, but also very brash and arrogant. And they go through similar character arcs in their movies. So that's why, you know, after seeing the first Iron Man movie and then seeing Doctor Strange, had Doctor Strange not been about the master of the mystic arts and all that stuff, and it was just some regular dude, I don't think it would hit the same as the first Iron Man did, especially because we already saw that movie done before in the MCU. But it's still really entertaining. It's a great introduction into magic in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we saw more of in Avengers Infinity War, and I think we're finally going to see on full display in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I cannot wait for. But as it stands, it's a really, really solid origin story. No, I have not seen the new Spider-Verse trailer, guys. I'm going to watch it after the stream. Let's see what else we're going to add in there. We are going to put Black Panther. The strength of the Black Panther will be stripped away. So Black Panther, really enjoyed this movie. Really enjoy a lot about this film. But at the same time, there were things in certain beats that I didn't gel with. Like the final act of the movie, the final fight, I was not a fan of that at all. Had a really good, compelling villain. T'Challa, so here's the thing. I don't think T'Challa really grew much in this movie like he did in Captain America Civil War. Because in Captain America Civil War, his little character arc as a secondary character, how he was just blinded by rage and the loss of his father and how that made him act and how he wasn't looking at logic and all the things surrounding the situation. And then he finally finds it out in the end, and he was just like, vengeance has consumed you, it's consumed them, I won't let it consume me. And just that moment, he felt like legit royalty, like to be able to make a decision like that, even though, you know, it was very heart-wrenching to have to come to terms with the fact that this guy who you've been hunting did not kill your father. It was this person, and if you had your way, you would have killed this guy who was innocent, and he didn't do that. Whereas in his own solo movie, I don't know, like, yeah, he learned that you shouldn't turn your back on the world. Maybe the old ways aren't the best ways, and that kind of growth is cool. But like, I feel like his first introduction was just so strong, man. I just can't let that go. So that's why I put it in the dope category. Then from there, we are going to put, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love how Colin is just like, oh, I'm getting so much out of this damn membership. So we have 8 movies in here. 8 movies in here. So we have 8 movies in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies. All right. So this is gonna seem very weird, but I am gonna throw up all 8 of these movies into the Steelbook tier. All of them, all at once. So we'll start with the oldest one right here, which of course is the very first Iron Man movie, our introduction into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Had this movie not been as incredible as it was, we would not have the MCU. We would not, because this was the strongest film in that phase, and because it laid such an incredible groundwork for things to come, even though its future Iron Man movies weren't as great, it's something I can always go back to and appreciate and just love. Like, I've got so much love for the first Iron Man movie, man. If they were to ask me, like, what are your top, like, superhero movies that really impacted you? If we're talking legit impact, it's the very first Iron Man movie, man. And of course, it's got Tony! There's Tony, and then there's Tony! So we got the first Iron Man movie there. And of course, on principle, you've got to add the first Avengers movie. Dude, it's the thing that legit started not the universe as we know it, but the shared universe as we know it. And it's the movie that DC, Warner Brothers, Universal, all these competing companies, they've been trying to make for the past 8 years, and none of them have ever been successful because they don't know, or they know, but they don't understand why the first Avengers movie works. It might not be the best Avengers movie of the bunch, but everything that they did in that movie was right for the time. They nailed the synergy with the cast, how everybody came together, and just the finale of the movie. Oh my fucking God, the Battle of New York, dude. I still go back and I rewatch it to see some of the fight scenes, just how fucking badass everybody looked. So I've got major love for the first Avengers movie. And then from there, let's see, what was the next movie that came out? Of course, still to this day, my favorite film in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've got Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I remember going to see this movie, right? I remember going to see this movie. It was me, my homie Chad, and his brother Trent. Right, so it was the three of us. You know, we love talking comics and shit. We saw that movie, and then when we all got out of the film, we were just like, what the hell did we just watch? Was that a Captain America movie? Was that a superhero movie? Dude, they tackled so much in this film. First off, it was an incredible Captain America film. It was incredible, the stuff that they did with him and Bucky. And then when you add in the fact that they injected politics in the film, really relevant politics to what was happening at the time with the NSA and spying on people. But the great part about the movie is that it never really took a side. It just showed you what can happen when one side goes too drastic, right? But as we saw in the movies that came since, there's a reason why people would have that way of thinking. But yeah, they did so much right in this movie. The CQC, close quarters combat, was incredible, and like, I still make gifs of Bucky and Steve's fight in the streets of DC. Like, that stuff was amazing, man. Like, I've gushed about this movie for literally 7 years now. You guys know what it's all about. Captain America's Winter Soldier is my all-time favorite MCU movie. It's top 3 superhero movies for me, and just in general, it's on, like, if I had a list of like the top 30 films, Captain America the Winter Soldier is on there because it just ticks all the right boxes. One of the best parts about the movie that's not really spoken on, because it's like, the movie's so amazing, the pacing of the film. Oh my God, dude. Go back and rewatch Captain America the Winter Soldier and look at how great the pacing is. It's literally boom, 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 boom. There's rarely ever a time where there's screen time and it's not utilized effectively. Like, every scene in this movie serves a purpose. And just how they wrap everything up from the beginning on your left to the very end, the final on your left. Oh, dude, it's so good. Bro, I might go ahead and rewatch this shit right now, man. I fucking loved Winter Soldier, bro. Oh my God. And then from there, let's see. So we're in 2014 right now. The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like, dude, I mean, Guardians gets a lot of flack because it kind of shaped the humor going forward, and a lot of people are trying to create Guardians in their movies where it doesn't need to be like that. But dude, just like this movie, dude, I'm a big sucker for family dynamics in movies. I'm a big sucker for unlikely heroes coming together to save the day, but a lot of the time it's not really handled that well. I mean, Fast and Furious is a great example. They're like, yeah, this is all family, but we're like, really, bro? Y'all, two of y'all members fight every other movie, and you're just doing stuff to say you're a family, just because we're a family and we've been together for X amount of years. But Guardians, I legit felt the family vibe and connection with them. and as they progressed into the MCU. I love a lot of shit about that, bro. And the final scene in the movie, man, where they're just all in the they're all on the ship and they're playing Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and it's like, so what do we do, y'all? A bit of bad, a bit of good, a bit of both. And he's just like, all right, a good of both, or like a bit of both. Like, bro, dude, I love that shit, man. I love this so much. And it ended off with the Jackson 5. Dude, I'm getting nostalgic thinking about this shit. And me and my best friend, we actually have a tradition watching the Guardians movie. So my best friend, as you guys know, is Tundex Dante86. I saw the first Guardians movie when I was down in Texas, which is very funny because I've seen every single one of these MCU movies. Well, the ones when I started going to see them in theaters, because I didn't see like the first Iron Man in theaters. I didn't start watching the MCU movies in theaters till 2011. So the Guardians of the Galaxy was the first movie I didn't see in my state. And I watched it with my boy Tundex, and we were just like, that was a great fucking movie, dude. And so every single time they put out a new Guardians movie, I make it a goal that if I'm ever going to go down to Texas, it's going to be to see Guardians. And so we saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in Texas. And then in 2023, when Part 3 comes out, we're going to conclude this this journey of ours that started, well, we've been friends since like 2010, but this journey that started in 2014. So 2014, 2017, 2023 for all these Guardian movies, man. Ah, man, I love it. And then from there, let's see. So it's 2014, Captain America, Civil War. Dude, okay, so let me just give me like a minute, you guys. I've been talking so much. Okay, so I'm gonna use this time while I just rest my voice. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit the like button. Helps out the channel tremendously and all that good jazz. But oof. Excuse me, guys. Okay. Whew. All right. So Captain America Civil War. Not as good as Winter Soldier. For obvious reasons, because this was more of an ensemble film rather than a character piece. But at the same time, it's still a sequel to Captain America the Winter Soldier because it brings over the characters from the past film and the storylines from the past film, and they continue them in this one, which is something you don't really see in too many ensemble movies. And it's handled very well, man. The fact that they were able to juggle so many things, from the Superhero Registration Act to how that ties in with Bucky and introducing T'Challa and Wakanda. Like, they managed to, dude, they made a better Avengers movie without calling it Avengers than Joss Whedon did with Avengers Age of Ultron. And it was so surprising because nobody was looking at Civil War and thinking like, yeah, this is going to be the next Avengers movie. But it more or less was, man. And there was so much intense emotions in this film, like starting at the very top when, you know, Tony gives that speech at MIT, and then this woman comes to him and she shows him the photo of her son who died in Sokovia, which is like, holy shit. No, he didn't die in Sokovia. He died in Lagos. Wait, no, he died in Sokovia. I don't remember, but her son died doing something good for the world by nature of collateral damage. And that does something to a person, especially somebody like Tony Stark, who, you know, he's in this game, but he's still he's still dealing with trauma and PTSD from the Battle of New York. And there was a lot of stuff happening there. And then him learning about his parents and how they truly died, and just the intentions. Oh, bro, it was handled so well. I saw the points of view from both characters, both Captain America and Tony Stark. Tony Stark was acting out of emotion. Captain America was using logic and facts. But at the same time, it's like, you hate the fact that they're both fighting against each other because they want the same thing, except it's just, oh man, it was so well done, bro. So well done. And then from there, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, self-explanatory. I mean, in my opinion, these two, even though they're not really one movie, because I can't watch them back to back, because, dude, it's just so fucking long. It's like 5.5 hours right there. But it's an incredible milestone. That's like literally a culmination of 10 years, this story that they've been crafting. And they found a way to make everybody happy, man. Incredible fan service, incredible emotional weight attached to this story. And, you know, if the MCU had ended here, then I would be very pleased with what we had gotten over the span of 10 years. Like the interconnectivity in all these movies, the payoff that it comes from, giving closure for characters like Tony Stark and his relationship with his father, Captain America as well. There was a lot of character deaths in this movie. Just seeing the arc that Thor went on from Infinity War and Endgame, and like one of my all-time favorite moments in the MCU was the conversation that Thor and Rocket had when they were on their way to Nidavellir. And, you know, Rocket was just trying to break the ice, and he's just like, you know, so the Thanos guy we're going up against, he's done a lot of bad shit. And, you know, Thor was just trying to remain optimistic. And then you just see Thor break down and just buckle under the weight of what he's been going through. Like losing his father, finding out his sister is just this mass murderer. And in addition to his father's legacy not being as squeaky clean as he originally thought, his brother dying repeatedly, and then his brother actually dying in front of him, his mother being murdered, like so much stuff happening, losing half his people. And I will never forget, you know, like he's just like saying this, like the reason why I'm alive is because fate wills it. I will stay alive until I kill Thanos because that's what I'm going to do. And I will, like, dude, just think about that now. I get emotional. And then Rocket replies basically saying, what happens if you don't succeed? And Thor says, what more can I lose? And there's just this pause, and a tear goes down his face, and he just wipes his eye and he just looks away. And then Rocket says, me, I could lose a lot. Me personally, I could lose a lot. And then Rocket starts thinking about his family. And dude, just that moment, and then followed into Avengers Endgame with him being depressed about how he feels responsible for Thanos being alive because he didn't aim for the head, and then he tried to get revenge and it didn't work and it felt useless and futile, and he spiraled into depression. I know a lot of people look at Fat Thor and they're like, oh, why did they do that to Thor? It's terrible, blah blah blah. But underneath all of that, because depression manifests itself very differently from people. Some people go into drugs, some people go into alcohol, some people go into food abuse, but there is something inside them and they're suffering and they don't want to address it. And Thor faced his fears, ironically, by, you know, in an unlikely situation, being able to go back in time and talk to his mother on the day of her death, which already right then and there is traumatizing beyond belief. Like, you saw your mother die, and now you're going back to the day that she died, and you can't change that. That's heavy, dude. That's heavy. But his mom just basically told him, like, be the person. Don't be, like, if you spent your whole life being someone who you thought you should be, you need to be the person you are meant to be. Like, that is beautiful. And then the icing on top in that scene was Thor wielding Mjolnir again and finding out that he's still worthy. Despite all the depression, he's still worthy. And depression does not make you lesser of a person. We're all going through shit. And I thought that was so beautiful, man. Very, very well done. And then the last movie of the list, which is the most recent one, and I didn't expect it to be in my list for Steelbook worthy, but it is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I know very little about the Shang-Chi character. I mean, I've read a few of the comics just by nature of, well, it's in the Marvel realm. But I would not sit here and pretend to know everything about Shang-Chi. And it was kind of great going into this as like my first blind MCU movie. And dude, I fucking loved it. Like this to me represents the shift in tone for the MCU. This is where we start seeing different types of movies. Because while it is still a Marvel movie, it still has the Marvel DNA. You know, it has its unnecessary humor at times. It has its third act CGI fight. But everything else about this movie was so fucking good, man. The fact that this is a $200 million wuxia movie. And anyone who's a big fan of wuxia movies or a big fan of like all those old school like kung fu flicks, you know, martial arts films, this is literally that, but on a grand scale, man. And just the relationship between Shang-Chi and his father, Wenwu, who is just played by the incredible Tony Leung. Like, oh my god, like Tony Leung in this movie, I don't even think he's a villain. Like, he's not a bad guy. He isn't. He was just a man who was broken by the loss of his wife, and his family too. He drove away his entire family, and what really sucks is that he was this conqueror for generations, and he put all that stuff aside because of this woman, and he had finally found something to live for other than power. And as soon as he stopped, he got thrown right back into that life. And the way they showed in this movie, it is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Like, that, they lost the mom, but you don't exactly know how. You know that the family was, it caused it divided the family, but you don't know how. And then you see it in the final act, and you're just like, oh my God. And to this day, it still has one of the most brutal revenge scenes I've seen in a movie, man. Like that scene where dude, I'm hesitant to talk about spoilers because the movie, it's still relatively new, and some people watching have not seen it, so I don't want to get into it. But please, Shang-Chi, I get it. It has its MCU isms attached to it, but bro, it's so fucking good, man. Like dude. I was like, wait, do I want to rewatch Guardians tonight, or do I want to rewatch Winter Soldier tonight? And now I might have to rewatch Shang-Chi instead. I don't know. I just rewatched this movie a few weeks back, man. But yeah, the last two things, obviously, they're still either haven't been released in the case of Spider-Man No Way Home, and Hawkeye, which is still airing. We're only halfway through that. But here's my current ranking of the MCU movies as of December 4th, 2021. Like I said, things are subject to change every 5 years. Some things might go into different slots. Like even now, if I had to rank, I out of these 8 movies, I don't know if I could rank which is like my number one. Well, obviously Winter Soldier is my number one favorite, but then after that, it gets kind of dicey. Like, ooh, I really love this, I really love that. But yeah, this is what my ranking is looking like. I'd be curious to see what some of y'all's rankings are. In the chat, if you want to type that down below, maybe for the playback, and I can read it in the comment section. But yeah, so Steelbook worthy category, it's these 8 movies. The dope category, we got 7 movies in there. Decent, and then straight cheeks, movies or shows I have no desire to rewatch ever again or own on physical media, other than it being attached to like a complete series set. But yeah, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just switch back to the full cam here. Oh my God, I felt like I did more talking there than I do in my regular streams. That's wild. But Colin, my boy, I really hope you enjoyed that ranking list. It was unexpected. How long were we doing that shit for? We were doing it for a while. But yeah, you definitely got your membership for out of that. $2 super chat from Flame. She gave me a reason to grow old for the feels, dude. Absolutely, bro. That movie. Oh my God, I love Shang-Chi so much, man. Okay. Oh God. Let's see. Hey Neo, I sent you some art I made on the stream, on the DMs. Hope you enjoy as much as I have. Oh, let me check that shit actually, Aaron. Let me do that right now. Ooh, wow. My man Aaron. Look what this man drew. Look what this man drew, you guys. Let me crank this brightness up right quick. Look what hold on, too bright. I probably had the right idea first. But my man Aaron Stallings in the chat. Look what this man, look at the, no, stop it. Stop getting brighter. Look what this man drew, you guys. That is sick. That is so fucking sick. My man is talented, bro. It is awesome. And everyone's like, yo, you gotta watch that Spider-Verse 2 trailer. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna peep it afterwards. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Where would you add the Marvel Netflix shows? Ooh, that's a really good question, Window. So looking at that list, all right, so what do we have? We have Daredevil, season 1, 2, 3, Jessica Jones, season 1 and 2, Punisher 1 and 2, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Defenders. That's a whole tier list in and of itself. Damn, we should probably do that for another episode. What do you think is the biggest crossover? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Kingdom Hearts, or the Avengers? It's kind of hard to quantify that because It's very different. Like Smash Bros. Ultimate, based off of logistics, is technically the biggest crossover because you're dealing with not just Nintendo, but Konami and Capcom and Square Enix and Xbox Game Studio. So that's a big one. But at the same time, Avengers has worldwide appeal versus Smash Bros. I would say Smash Bros. Is the most ambitious crossover. Definitely most ambitious crossover, just purely based off of licensing. Yeah, the end of Shang-Chi definitely was not sequel baity, but it was world building baity. Okay. Alrighty. We really did a whole ranked list on. You know what? That would be really fun for us to do like different streams throughout the week where we rank certain stuff. Like we did the MCU tonight. Maybe we can do like top Christopher Nolan movies or video game franchises. Like that'd be really fun. Oh my god. I'm expecting to see Hellblade 2 and Avowed at the Game Awards is going to be legendary. Yeah, I keep forgetting the Game Awards is legit next week, you guys. That's crazy. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I'm going to watch the Game Awards this year. Because I was thinking back to last year, and honestly, the only reason it was fun to watch is because we were streaming it and we were cracking jokes. But I'm looking at the time that I spend watching those streams, and honestly, like all the cool stuff, I can just wait for it to get uploaded onto YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd much rather watch an E3 conference than watch the Game Awards, because half the time they don't even really announce all the awards on there. Like sometimes they'll just be like, and the best RPG is this and blah blah blah, and then they say, I don't know, I hate when they do that shit, bro. It's like, wow, you're gonna have an award show and then you're gonna breeze by like 50 awards in 2 seconds. So yeah, I don't know. I'll see what I'm doing Thursday night. Top 10 hottest celebrities. Oh god. Okay. Have you heard about? Oh, so by the way, if anyone who's still watching and you asked questions during the tier list, feel free to ask them again. I wasn't ignoring you. We were on topic, you know. So feel free to ask them again. Oh man, I need a water break, bro. Have you heard about the new COVID variant that has shown up in New York and New Jersey? You think we're on our way to another lockdown? Yeah. So for those who don't know, Anime NYC was held a few weeks back at the Javits Center. That's where they hold all the big conventions and stuff. Famously, New York Comic Con is held there. And there's this new variant of COVID that came from South Africa. It's called the Omicron variant. And the first reported case, well, not the first reported case anywhere, but the first reported case in New York State was actually at Anime NYC. And I believe that's for the entirety of the United States, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So if you went to Anime NYC, make sure you get yourself tested to be safe. Honestly, at this point, bro, the regular COVID strain, the Delta variant, the Omicron variant, I don't even know. I'm just taking shit day by day at this point, man. I don't think we're going to go down into another lockdown just because of, you know, everyone is vaccinated. And if you're vaccinated, it's not going to affect you the same way. But at the end of the day, all we can do is just do what we've been doing the past 2 years. Just stay safe. Make sure to keep our immune systems up. Regularly exercise. And keep yourself and your loved ones close. That's all you got to do, man. Just don't really worry about going to all those other crazy events if you're really afraid or at risk. That's my regular mantra. Like for me, I'll go to movie theaters. I'll go to like small places surrounded by people. But I don't know, going to concerts and being like this close to folks. Because even in movie theaters are still not sold out like that. At least around me. So I don't feel any type of way being in a movie theater if there's like only 10, 15 people. But if I'm going to a convention and literally, you know how those conventions are, you're this close to people and you're all touching the same shit, I can't do that. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna lock down anymore. But then again, you never know, man. I remember when COVID originally started, bro, people were like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. And then sure enough, day by day, curfews, 10 p.m., capacity restrictions, closing all but essential businesses. So we'll see. But I don't think it's gonna happen like that. What vaccine did you get? I got Pfizer. I got the Pfizer vaccine. It was kind of interesting because in this house we did half and half. Half of us got Pfizer, the other half got Moderna. Just wanted to do an experiment to see what the reactions were for people. So my mom and my brother got their vaccines first. And, you know, they had the first dose. They felt fine. Then they went back. They got the second dose. My mom was absolutely fine. My brother, on the other hand, that vaccine knocked him out for an entire weekend, bro. He was just posted up in bed feeling like straight death. So then my sister and I were like, all right, you know what? Let's get Pfizer, see what it's hitting for. She got Pfizer before me. And she didn't really feel too many side effects outside of she didn't feel hungry for a day. But other than that, she was cool. I got my first dose. And I didn't notice any crazy side effects outside of feeling lightheaded and a sore arm for 3 days, but that was it. That second dose, on the other hand, oh my God, that's the one where I felt really fatigued. I felt like depleted. I remember I got it Wednesday afternoon, and the rest of that day I felt chill. I felt fine. I didn't really feel too crazy. The next day, however, I tried to go to the gym. Bro, I remember I started out my workouts. I was deadlifting. After I did my deadlifts, I tried to do some biceps. I was like, that's it. I'm done. My body was like, no, you think you're going to work out? Nah, man. So I was very fatigued all throughout Thursday, but that was honestly the worst of it. But come Friday, I fell back to normal. That was cool. Imagine the government finding out the new variant came from an anime convention and them going, those damn weeaboos. I believe it. I fucking believe it, bro. If Biden signed in an executive order and said we're banning anime, I'd be like, I understand. Hey, Gore, what's going on, bro? No, we're not gonna be ending the stream just yet, Gore. Not yet, but we might end it soon because I just did a rankings list, and you know I was explaining everything about the rankings, so I feel like I'm losing my voice, man. But it's good to see you, Movie God. Good to see you, bro. I'm finally online in Final Fantasy 14, bro. I'm so happy for you, Corey. My boy Tundex, you know, he's big into Final Fantasy as well. This man said, yo, man, I've been leaving my PlayStation on for like an hour at times, 2 hours just to get into the queue. I was like, fam, what? He said, like, we were on the phone because we were talking about some real world shit. And he's like, hold up a second, I gotta go turn on my PlayStation. I said, oh, what you about to play, bro? He said, oh no, I'm about to play the Final Fantasy 14 queue system. There was like 3,000 people in that queue. I was like, bruh. I refuse to let COVID kill me before I get to play the new Fable. Well, listen, Flame, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I love you, but if drinking toilet water and drinking tap water has not killed you now, I don't think you gotta worry about COVID variants. I feel like COVID looks at you and it's just like, oh, I ain't touching that, man. Did you get the booster shot? No, I didn't get the booster shot yet, Jay, because I don't, it hasn't been 6 months since my last shot. I'll probably get it early next year. If I need it, you know. We'll see. We'll see. Depending on what that variant's looking like, yeah, we'll see. My mom is going to be getting her booster, I think, next month. Oh, dude, yo. Yeah, Gore, I was talking about how I just started up another playthrough of the first Fable game. Because I want to replay all... I have not played all the Fable games since they... around the time they came out. I played Fable 3 very late. I think I played it, like, what, 2012? And it came out... when did it come out? When did Fable 3 come out? 2010? I don't know. I played it after the fact. So I've been interested in going back and seeing if they still hold up. And, you know, like, it's still got its issues. Because, you know what the thing is about a lot of those games? I feel like a lot of games that came out from, like, the early 2000s to the late 20s, like the early 2010s, that period in time, going back and playing some of them with them controls, man. Oh, golly, bro. Golly, that shit be rough, man. Like, damn, we used to game like this. Holy fuck. Like, trying to go back and replay Star Wars KOTOR. Like, that's why I'm so excited for this remake, man. Because I love KOTOR to death. But those controls make me feel like death. You know, here's the thing with me, Gore. I loved the first Fable game because of the charm. But I didn't really see the hype. I played Fable 2. And it really wasn't clicking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it might have been, just because Peter Molyneux and how he talked about Fable at the time, it gave all these expectations like, yo, Fable's gonna be the greatest RPG of all time, and it wasn't. And then Fable 3, I was, again, similar to Fable 2, I was kind of just indifferent to it. But who knows? It's been a long time since I played them, so I might end up liking them a lot more, so I can't wait. Yeah, the KOTOR, dude, honestly, it's the KOTOR combat for me as well, because the voice acting, the dialogue, the story, like all that stuff is great, but just traversing the world, my god, it's just so clunky. I just started playing Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first time 2 days ago, and I'm loving it. My man, Julian Harris. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, bro. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the GOAT. Oh, shoot, that's right, Pierre. The new Spider-Verse movie comes out around your birthday. Oh, you gonna be lit, Pierre. This man's gonna be like, trust your fucking process, I tell you. And you know the crazy thing is, it wasn't gonna come out on your birthday because they had to delay it since COVID happened. So now look at that. You get a whole birthday gift, a whole Spider-Verse movie. Bro, yo, can you guys believe that it's been 3 years since the first Spider-Verse movie came out? How is the first Spider-Verse movie 3 years old? What the fuck? Like, how? How's it been 3 years, man? I don't get it. Yeah, the KOTOR remake's not going to be canon. They say they're going to modernize the story, whatever that means, but it's not going to be canon. Which sucks, because I want to see Darth Vader, man. I need him in the canon. But who knows? They might be saving him for... I wouldn't be surprised if... I wouldn't be surprised if that Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy is about the Old Republic. Oh my god. I legit think the internet might implode. I think everything might crash if people find out Rian Johnson is working on an Old Republic trilogy. Damn. I can't wait to see the salts. I'm gonna be there day one for that shit, bro. Like, I don't care, man. I'm gonna be there. Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed on this remake, Gore. Like, I'm gonna play it, provided it's not like a low budget remake, because I want them to go full on. Like, give me the close to photorealistic visuals. Give me that shit, bro. But honestly, I'm gonna be real. You know what I'm waiting the most for? That Jedi Fallen Order 2. Probably not gonna be called Fallen Order, but the next Star Wars Jedi game for Respawn. Because I just replayed Jedi Fallen Order. Dude, I fucking love that game. I love it so much. And then every time I get to the end of it and Cal is knighted, oh golly, bro. My fucking emotions. Spider-Man and Smash. It's been 4 years since the first teaser came out. Yeah, it's true, bro. Time flies. Dude, time flies, man. Like, we're about to go into 2022. Like, what? COVID is going into its junior year. What? I can't understand this shit, bro. This shit is crazy. Yeah, dude. Great characters. Honestly, bro, like, I can't wait to see what Respawn does next, because how they went from doing, like, Titanfall to Star Wars is beyond me. But listen, whoever came up with that idea to be like, yo, Respawn, work on a Star Wars game, they're like, okay, fuck it, we'll make a Star Wars game that's low-key, kind of like Dark Souls and Uncharted, and it works in this beautiful blend in every aspect except those damn sliding segments. Oh my god, the amount of times I've died on those sliding segments, like too many of those sliding segments. Let's see. Neo, any tips for working out? I'm gonna get started soon. Oh, there's a lot of stuff I can say, Jay, but my biggest tip is to stay consistent. Stay consistent, my friend. I know it's going to be a very long, arduous process. It's gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take years to get the ideal physique you want. It's gonna come with some sacrifices. You know, cooking a lot more than you usually do, waking up early, going to bed a little bit later. But trust me, bro, it's all worth it. So just stay consistent and remember why you're doing this in the first place. Because if you do not have a strong reason why, you're gonna go for 3 weeks and then that's it. That's literally what it's going to be. So find your reason, find your why you want to do something. For some people, it's keeping their like health in check. For other people, it's, you know, they want to look better. For other people, it's they want to be better. But everything starts with the proper mindset. So you've got to hone in and figure out what that is. Because once you do that, everything else will figure itself out, from like the diet, the nutrition, to the workout routines and all that stuff. Because every single day you learn something new and you learn how to do things more effectively. But the important thing is to start. So many people, it's paralysis by analysis, where they just see so much information, they don't know where to start, that they just say, fuck it. But if you can persevere and realize that Rome wasn't built in a day, you're going to go places, man. So yeah, just spend your time enjoying the journey. It's a marathon. It's not a race. Focus on one thing at a time. Focus on one program. So if you have a workout program and it's going for 12 weeks, don't program hop. Don't just drop something and do something else. Finish that through to the end. Focus on learning the movements, learning how to activate the muscles. Focus on building a great foundation for strength. Don't really necessarily worry about how heavy you can push something, because that will come in time as you build your base. But the focus is learning a great foundation. If you want some advice, I'd say focus on the big compound lifts. So your squat, your bench press, your deadlift, your overhead press, your row, getting really good at like push-ups, pull-ups, body weight stuff. Like really master all those things before you worry about what exercise is effective to build the biggest bicep peak, or work on this small part of your muscle. Like you want to focus on building your entire body to be strong rather than isolating certain aspects of it. But yeah, you have to have a reason, because if you have the reason, that drive and motivation will figure everything else out. If Rian Johnson movies are based off KOTOR and they're great, would that mean Star Wars would have the first legit good video game movie adaptations? You're not wrong, Gore. You're not. But I don't know, because the Old Republic, I don't know, because the Old Republic is still an era in Star Wars, so I think that's why people are not. I don't think people would classify it as a video game adaptation. I think it would be about the Old Republic, and, you know, we'd see Darth Revan in that. But I don't know if it would play out exactly like the video game did. I think they would make some changes in making it fully canon, you know? Let's see. Excuse me. Leonard Mendoza says motivation is key when working out. Same for a lot of things in life. Yeah, and honestly, that's the best thing about the gym, because if you can persevere through the gym, all you have to do is apply that mindset to everything else in your life. It can start from something so simple as cleaning your room up to like creating your own business and just everything that seems hard, because everything in the beginning is hard and it's gonna suck and you're gonna be like, why am I doing this? But if you're able to persevere and overcome and realize that, oh, everything is just a matter of mindset, the sky is literally the limit, man. So trust me on this. Like if you get really good at one thing, you can apply that to something else. Oh, so for people who are asking what the music is, the music is Zelda and Chill 2. So go on to YouTube, type in Zelda and Chill 2, and that's the background music for tonight. That, Zelda and Chill 1, and then there's this Persona lo-fi thing I had going on. Talking about the gym grind while debating on getting Five Guys. Hey, Marcus, I get it, bro. I get it, man. I've been keeping my diet pretty clean for the most part. I only cheat once a night, bro. Just once a night these weeks, because I got a little too crazy over the summer and I was like, don't like that. Don't like that. So I've been cutting back a bit, dropped a few pounds. I feel really fucking good. I've upped my cardio game. And then I'm like, okay, I'll have my cheat nights. My cheat nights are either Sunday nights or Thursday nights, because usually Thursday nights, my sister and I, we always hang out, or Sunday nights, it's like the final night of the week. It's the Lord's Day. You can just relax. And what did I do last week? I ate a whole Papa John's pizza pie, man. No, I had a whole Papa John's pizza pie, and I had that, the papadilla. You guys ever had that papadilla thing? Oh, I had this like Philly cheesesteak papadilla. Hey, I ain't going front. For $6, That shit slapped. I'm not even gonna front, y'all. But yeah, when I have my cheat nights, man, sometimes I go big and I order a shit ton of stuff. But most of the time I just keep it small. Like a cheat night for me might be, you know, this is gonna sound so ridiculous, I'm sorry. But a cheat night for me might be like a triple cheeseburger from this local burger shop I have and wings. Man said he cheats once a night. Oh, I don't know. No, I didn't say that. Once a week is what I meant, Asbel. Once a week, bro. But remember, Asbel, oh, look at that. That's my fucking light in the shot. Well, Asbel is my lawyer, so he needs to get a good understanding of everything before people ask me stuff. Like I said, Asbel is the brakes. Asbel Lon is the brakes. Daniel Pack and Mexican Zoidberg, they're the muscle. They're the bouncers. Corey Gryffindor is that one person in the group that's always gonna keep you. He's always gonna remind you that your shit don't stink. Or I'm sorry, yeah, he's always gonna remind you that your shit does stink. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, if I ever get like a big ego, Corey Gryffindor will just knock me down to size by saying something related to mayonnaise. I'm trying to think who else. Who else? I'm trying to think of all my mods and what they would be as like groups in my life. So we got the bouncers, we got the legal team, we got the person that keeps you in check. Who else? What else is a part of a group? A hype man. I think Colin might be the hype man of the group. No, I think not. No, honestly, Don Otaku is the hype man of the group, who also says questionable shit. That's Don Otaku. Colin. I gotta think what Colin would be. Colin is like that really cool uncle who you go to when your parents don't give you shit. He's the cool uncle that takes you to all the movies or buys you the video games your parents won't, and he's like, don't tell your parents. That's Colin, definitely. That's definitely Colin. Flame is like, don't even bring me into this. I have to, you're a mod. So what would Flame be? I feel like Flame, you know what? I feel like Flame is the hype beast of the group. He's the hype. Like, for example, if I'm gonna be like, yo, we all doing fucking shots, Flame is like, hell yeah, we doing fucking shots. Flame is definitely the hype beast of the group, but he's also the dude that can say some suspect ass shit at a moment's notice. I think that's definitely Flame. Who else? Let's see. Maddie, Valky, and 24. Okay, Maddie, what would Maddie be? Okay, so if Asbel Lawn is the legal counsel team, I think Maddie might be... Shit. What would Maddie be? Reed says, I'm not a mod, but I'm the weed guy. Hey, listen, man. You know what? That's the reason why you're not the mod, bro. Because we can't have the ops being well aware that you exist, Reed. So you exist, but you don't at the same time. You see? Okay, so let's see. So Valky and 24. What would Maddie's role be? We have the armed enforcers. We have the legal counsel. We have the person who brings me down a peg. We have we have our hype beast slash court jester. What was Don Otaku again? I gotta start writing these down. I really gotta start writing these down. I think Flame's an imposter. He's too sus. That's a fact. What is Maddie's role? Because Maddie is so specific. Because Maddie's a really good guy. Oh, okay. I know what Maddie is. Maddie is our designated driver, right? So if, let's say, for example, one of us, all right, hypothetically speaking, never happened, maybe it might. Let's say we all in a car, we get pulled over, all right? Let's just say someone was speeding. I don't care. Maddie is the person who talks to the cops. Like, first things first. First off, Maddie's Australian, so he's got an accent. He's got a really cool accent. He's got a deep voice, so he can address all of these things. And Matt is very... he's sophisticated when he talks about stuff. Maybe that's just the accent pulling a wool over my ears. But I feel like Maddie would definitely be the designated driver. Asbel would be the person that gets us out of jail. Corey Gryffindor would be in jail saying, look, you guys fucking wound us. We all wound up in jail because of you. Flame would probably be the person who somehow makes the situation worse. Daniel Pack and Mexican Zoidberg would be trying to, like, if they had a spoon, they would try to, like, carve a way out of there. And then out of fucking nowhere, and we did not expect this, Reed 94 pulls up and springs us out of jail. We don't know how, but he does. He's just like, come on, let's go. And that's why you're not included in the list, because we can't afford to include you in the list, because it's the second you're in the list, you are a target, Reed 94. We can't. Yeah, Flame would just make the situation worse. Flame would literally pull up to that cop and he'd be like, is there a problem, Ossifer? And the cop would be like, Ossifer? Okay, yeah, no. You get out of the car right now. Like, that would definitely be what Flame does. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. We just really, like, ranked everything. That's just fucking insane. But, okay, I gotta give a huge shout out and apology to the homie John McKinney, because he donated a super chat when we were doing the tiers list, and it was so far up that I didn't get a chance to see it. And he just donated another super chat as well, so I'm so sorry about that, John. So John McKinney's first super chat for $9.99 back like 40 minutes ago. Who's an actor who was miscast, and who do you think they should have played the role instead? For me, it's Julian McMahon as Dr. Doom. Jeremy Irons or Alan Rickman should have gotten the role. Yeah, bro. So there are definitely a lot of actors who've been miscast in roles, and it's much easier to look at them when we're talking about like genre entertainment, superhero movies, shit like that. So obviously, I think that a lot of people in those Fox movies were grossly miscast, but the one that I point to just like immediately off the top of my head would have to be Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, because you look at the Lex Luthor character and then you look at Jesse Eisenberg and it's like, we're supposed to believe that Superman thinks this guy's a threat. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, if you look at people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and how they do some shady stuff, that's not too dissimilar. Dissimilar, let's create a whole new word. That's not too different than how Jesse Eisenberg acts in those movies. And I just have to have people like calm down for a fucking second and just look at every single incarnation of Lex Luthor we've gotten. Everything. From the comics to the movies to Smallville, anything you can point to. TV show Lex Luthor. And then you pick Jesse Eisenberg. I'm sorry, I don't care how maniacal he comes off. I will never accept Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Like, bro, Lex Luthor be standing toe-to-toe with Superman, and I'm supposed to believe that Jesse fucking Eisenberg. Nah, fam, nah. In addition to that, let's see. Because, yeah, honestly, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, and a lot of the things in the Fox Marvel movies, man. A lot of the things in the Fox Marvel movies, like the Fantastic Four movies, all 2 of the reboots they've done. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, Clancy Brown. You listen to Clancy Brown's voice and you're like, oh, that right there is intimidating. And then you go to
Lex Luthor. Yes, my name is Lex Luthor, and I want to get... Yeah, that's me, I'm Lex Luthor.
Like, he has the high-pitched voice. Like, bro, that's like casting Michael Cera as the next Batman. I would love to see that, just based off it's so fucking weird. But no, like, I would never cast in a serious role Michael Cera as Bruce Wayne. I would maybe cast Michael Cera as Riddler, because I feel like he has the potential to do something really crazy. Like, I would totally have cast Jim Parsons from The Big Bang Theory. I could see him doing Riddler or the Mad Hatter or something like that. I would love that. But see, you work within the ranges. Like, I would never cast Jim Parsons to play Lex Luthor or Jim Parsons to play fucking Dr. Doom. Like, no, you don't do those things. Like, Just because someone's a great actor doesn't mean that they're right for every single role. Like, I hate when people say, oh no, they're a great actor, like, believe in them. I'm like, bro, but there's just some things. There's just some fucking things. Gilbert Gottfried is the Batman. Oh my god. Just trying to do his voice would fucking kill my vocal cords. Bryan Cranston was right there. Exactly, dude. Bryan Cranston, oh my god. You know what? You know what, Gore? I'll say this much, bro. As much as I would have loved Bryan Cranston to play Lex Luthor, I would not wanted him to play that incarnation of Lex Luthor. I would have wanted him to be Lex Luthor in a good movie and in a universe that has legs. Because that's the... Like, look at, for example, Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is a great actor to play Superman. Have they given him shit to work with? No, they haven't. So now we're just stuck, like, wondering what could have been. So, honestly, it's kind of a blessing that Jesse Eisenberg did play Lex Luthor, because now that means we can have Bryan Cranston do something else. Oh, James Spader would be an excellent Lex Luthor. That's a great casting choice. And then the second super chat from John McKinney. Unpopular opinion. I prefer the 2002 to 2005 2D Star Wars Clone Wars series rather than the CG Clone Wars, but that's just me. Oh no, that's not just you, John McKinney. There's a lot of people who share that same opinion. Some of my close friends as well. And to be honest, I can see where you're coming from. Now, I prefer the CG Clone Wars because of the long form storytelling, the world building, and just the final, like the Siege of Mandalore from season 7 is, bro, some of my favorite Star Wars content. But that 2D stuff had some of the best fucking fight scenes in all of Star Wars. I mean, Genndy Tartakovsky is he's already a proven, he's greatness. He's fucking greatness. And him doing that Star Wars stuff, the little micro series, little bite-sized bits. Imagine what would have happened if he had a full-on show, like produced season to season to season to season of Star Wars. I would have loved that, man. But yeah, I will say it's much easier to get through the micro series versus all of Clone Wars, because the thing about Clone Wars is it does have a lot of slow bits. There's a lot of episodes that are just world building for the sake of. And if you're a big Star Wars fan, that's cool. But if you're a general, like Gen Pop, you just care about the ongoing stories, you're not really going to resonate with it. So yeah, that is one thing I will give the micro series. It's just like, it's a good bite-sized entertainment. I have not seen the Spider-Verse trailer. I'm going to watch it after the stream, guys. I still think that Bryan Cranston should have played Sully in the Uncharted movie and Nathan Fillion should have been Drake. That would be really good if both of them were about, I want to say 15 years younger. Because the thing about Nathan Fillion, I think he played Nathan Drake in that fan film. He would have been an excellent Nathan Drake. I mean, let's be honest. They pulled a lot of Nathan Drake from Nathan Fillion's character in Firefly. But I mean, Nathan Fillion is too old. Like, maybe if they did this Uncharted movie when it was supposed to come out in 2010, I could totally see Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake. But the way it is now, him in his 50s, I know people like to point to Tom Cruise, but you know, the thing about the Mission Impossible movies is that, first off, Tom Cruise is just, he's an enigma. There's no reason a man of his age or a human being alive should be pulling off the stunts that he's pulling off. And just in general, the Mission Impossible movies, they've been around since the 90s. And they don't do them every single year. So it's like, okay, we'll do a Mission Impossible movie every like 3 to 4 years. And that'll be it. If you tried to do that with Uncharted, you'd have to get a really young actor. And I don't think they're going to do that. Well, they are, but it's just the wrong actor, man. I really love that Uncharted fan film. If you guys have not checked it out, just go on YouTube and type in Uncharted fan film. It stars Nathan Fillion, Stephen Lang. Dude, the first 5 minutes of that fan film is a better Uncharted movie than what we're gonna get, man. Like, he's got the Nathan Drake charisma. He's cracking the jokes. Like, dude, so good. Watch Primal. It's so good. Oh, word? I'll add that to the list, Gore. Gore said, that's like casting Chris Pratt as Mario. Thank God that'll never happen. Ooh. Who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell this man? Who's gonna be the bearer of bad news for One Gore, the movie god? Yeah, man, like, listen, I'll go into that Uncharted movie and I'll watch it as like an action movie. But bro, all I see is Peter Parker. Like I don't see Tom Holland the actor. I just see Tom Holland, Peter Parker. I would not be surprised if Sony looked at the Spider-Man movies and they were like, all right, so we want this boyish charm for Nathan Drake. Let's just do that. Fuck it, man. Like, dude. I don't know. I don't see anything about Tom's character in that movie that's so different. That's so different from his Peter Parker. And Mark Wahlberg is fucking Sully, bro. Oh my god. Sully's supposed to be really charismatic. Mark Wahlberg is not a charismatic guy. He's just a dude. He's just a dude who gets himself in like shitty situations. I don't know, man. He barely even talks to himself and touches the walls in the trailer. Not my Nathan Drake. Yo. But don't you love that dialogue of like, Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know. I'm one of them. Oh boy. We went from Amy Hennig's clever writing to this. Tom must have been heavily discounted. Well, I believe it. The thing about Tom Holland is like, a lot of people think, oh, it's great because he's a young Nathan Drake. He's going to grow. Tom Holland is in his mid-20s, guys. This is what he's going to look like for the rest of his life. It's going to be this face. This isn't like he's 15 years old. He's going to look like this. He's not going to get any taller. Nathan Drake is perpetually going to be like, how tall is Tom Holland? Like 5'6", 5'7"? Oh, golly. You love a joke that doesn't make sense at all. But see that? But Gore, that's the point. It's supposed to be funny because it's stupid. Adam Sandler as Sully would have been interesting. I would take that over Mark Wahlberg. Shit. Yeah, the Chloe actress is okay. But here's the thing. Are we supposed to believe that this Tom becomes Drake? Because, like, what? He's gonna... I can't imagine this... Like, bro, the idea of Tom Holland, like, being married and reproducing is fucking weird to me. Because to me, he always seems like a 14-year-old boy. So I don't know how Drake is gonna, like, meet Elena and settle down. Bro, I can't do it. I can't. Weird flex, but my dad recorded one of Mark's albums in the 90s. Was paid for the studio work, but wasn't credited on the album. Oh, wow, Reed. Well, it sucks that he wasn't credited, but shit. That's crazy, dude. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, man. Back when Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark. This is how we used to get the party start. We used to mix in with Bacardi Dark. Morgan Freeman as Sully. Oh, God. You know what? I want to see Morgan Freeman play a legitimate villain in a movie, man. I want that. I just want a Morgan Freeman-led villain piece. I'll take Chris Pratt Sully with a Mario mustache. I'd buy that. I would buy that. You want to know when they're gonna get the mustache, Garcia? What's gonna happen? And this is gonna be the scene, right? It's gonna be the end of the movie. Maybe a post-credit scene. Maybe when they're wrapping things up at the end in the final act. I don't know, but there's gonna be a little bit of time that passes. They're just gonna be chilling. Maybe they're on a boat going to their next heist, and Sully's gonna come out of the bathroom, right? And he's gonna have his he's gonna be talking to Nathan Drake, but he's gonna have a towel covering his face, right? Just to like clean up stuff. And he's gonna take it off, and he's like, well, what do you think? Tom's gonna make a joke saying, he looks stupid. And that's going to be the end of the fucking movie. They're going to end off the movie with Sully getting a goddamn mustache. Because they already filmed Mark Wahlberg with a mustache. Which leads me to believe that they shot that scene specifically for the end or whatever. I just, like, bro, it's so simple. The fact that it's so simple, I think, is what makes it complicated. Because people can fuck up something that's simple. And then he'll smoke a cigar. Yo, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, man. I would not be surprised if that happens, man. I would not be surprised, bro. It's literally, he's gonna come out, he could be like, what do you think? Or he's gonna say like, I'm trying out something new, or someone's gonna say you would look better with facial hair. Like, I just, why do I get the feeling, man? I just get the feeling. I got a feeling. That sounds just like what they did at the end of the Resident Evil movie. Golly. Man, it's just so sad that we gotta wait for the next Sonic movie to bring us back to some sort of decency. Like, that Sonic movie, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm happy this ended up as decent as it did. Because it could have been far worse. It was about to be far worse. But they managed to salvage it. Because, man, it's rough out here. It's rough out here, bro. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to watch that Spider-Verse thing at the end of the stream. I've seen the Now You See Me movies. I liked them, but I'm talking like a legit villain. Like terrible scumbag, I hate you type of villain. Like, you make my skin crawl type of villain. No, oh no, that wasn't Black Eyed Peas, man. That was the Zelda and Chill list, which just finished up. Which I think, you know what, we might as well just wrap things up. Might as well wrap things up for the night, you guys, because we're going on 3 hours now. Oh my god, another one of these streams. But you love to see it, man. So, wrapping things up, y'all. As you know, I want to thank you guys so much for coming through to the stream. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out the channel tremendously. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. It sends this thing into the ether, so we can get a bunch of new people in here to talk about really shitty video game movies starring Mark Wahlberg and babyface Tom Holland. In addition to that, down below in the video description, all of my links of interest, my social media outlets from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Give your boy a follow. The best place I'm always on is Twitter. That's where if you guys want to contact me about anything, just shoot me up in the DMs or just at me and we can talk about stuff. In addition, I have links to my Patreon page as well if you guys do want to support the channel by that or via the YouTube memberships. And then we actually got a last minute $10 super chat from the homie John McKinney. So thank you so much to him and all the super chats tonight. We're going to answer this real quick before we go into a hydration check. All right. So John McKinney says, I always felt that Alan Rickman was the guy to play Judge Frollo in a live action remake of Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. Since he sadly passed away, what about Clancy Brown as Frollo? And yeah, John McKinney and I remember we first started talking about this, I want to say last summer, right? About, because, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of his favorite movies. I really enjoyed it as well. But the character of Judge Frollo, there really has not been a Disney villain of his caliber since then. Like, that man was seriously twisted. And when you have a character like that, you need an actor that can really embody like so much with saying so little at times, and really big on the facial movements too. And Alan Rickman was like at the top of everybody's fan cast, especially when people started discussing the idea of Disney remakes in the early 2010s. Alan Rickman, I always saw that name thrown around. He would have crushed the role. Even if everyone else in the movie was dog shit, Alan Rickman would have given his heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into that film. But unfortunately, he did pass away. We're going on almost 6 years now, and it's truly a shame because I just rewatched all the Harry Potter movies, and man, his performance as Snape, it's so weird because for those who don't know, one of the big twists in Harry Potter is that Professor Snape was actually a good guy all along. And he had so much love for Harry because he was in love with Harry's mother. So throughout the course of the series, we view Snape as, you know, just a real big dick. Why is he doing this to Harry? Why does he hate Harry so much? And then you find out that, oh, he was bullied by Harry's parents. Oh, well, Harry's father and his friends. So that's why he hates Harry. But then you find out in the final book that he did all these things because he was trying to protect Harry and one up Voldemort with the help of Dumbledore. But what's so surreal is J.K. Rowling told him the twist during the production of the very first Harry Potter movie, and he was the only living person she told. She didn't tell the directors, the producers, the writers. She only told him. And if you look at his portrayals throughout the course of the Harry Potter movies, there's some form of sincerity to Harry, but it's not evident if you aren't looking for it. it's not something that you can pick up immediately. It's something that you have to be cognizant of. And it starts in the first movie with just him staring at Harry Potter, right? But it's not like, obviously you can attribute that to, well, he's Harry Potter. He's the kid who beat he who must not be named. But he was looking at that differently because this is Lily's son. And rewatching all of that with the context of everything, now that Alan Rickman's passed away, dude, it hits different. It really does. He was such a tremendous actor, not just in Harry Potter, but in all the roles that he's brought life to. And he was one of the actor deaths that I got hit pretty damn hard because I loved his stuff. But if we can't get him, I mean, there's a lot of other really good options out there. But you really want someone who you want a character who's very regal and at the same time can just add so much power behind his hatred. Not just like, I'm angry for the sake of being angry, but legit power and rage in his voice. And Clancy Brown, prolific voice actor, and I love seeing him when he does on-camera stuff. He was in The Flash, and he was also in wasn't he in one of the Marvel Netflix shows? I want to say he was in one of those. I might be mistaken. But he would be a really good fit as well. But, you know, if anything, I wouldn't be surprised if they got, like, not necessarily an unknown, but like a really, really prominent theater or stage actor to play him. I could definitely see that. And then we have a $2 super chat coming in from Flame. Hunchback live action, Will Smith is the villain. Man, don't do my boy Will like that. I mean, it's bad enough he keeps talking about his damn fucking marriage and all that nonsense, but nah, I think what we need to start doing is we need to start seeing movies with Will Smith that aren't just Will Smith playing Will Smith. I want to go back to that era where we had movies with Will Smith where he had range, man. I'm talking about 7 Pounds. I'm talking about movies like The Pursuit of Happiness. Like, I miss that era of Will Smith, man. Everything now is just so vanilla. Like, Will Smith is a great charismatic guy, but I saw that in Fresh Prince. I saw that in Hitch, and I loved it in Hitch, but I don't want to see that every time. You know, I want to see something different. That's what I want, bro. But yeah, you guys, that about wraps up the stream for tonight. Thank you so much to Flame and John McKinney for the last minute super chats. Yeah, I did hear King Richard is really good as well, so I think that might be a return to form for him. That'd be great. Tim Curry would be amazing, but I don't think Tim Curry's in that that great state of health to be acting like that. So unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, you guys are listing so many great actor recommendations right here, and they all sound pretty good. But we have got a show to wrap up, and we are gonna be wrapping up tonight's Ask Neo like we do every Ask Neo with a hydration check. As well, Londa's like, oh no, we are not ending a stream without a hydration check. So for those who are tuning in for the first time who might not know what a hydration check is, it's essentially my way of keeping y'all accountable to make sure y'all are drinking your water, because that's what we need to be doing. Because you drink more water, you feel better. Your body functions better. Your skin, your hair, your nails, you feel so much better. And it's so simple because water is water. So grab your favorite H2O beverage of choice. No vodka, no toilet water, Flame. You know how you do. You know how you do, bro. And on the count of 3, we're going to chug. 1, 2, 3. Hydration. Woo! Oh, man. Nice, lukewarm temperature water. That's the best kind of water to do for these Ask Neo hydration checks, because you do hot water, you're going to burn your tongue. You do cold water, yeah, you're going to be feeling that shit. But yeah, you guys, this man said, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do. Well, Reed, I do this because I look out for you, bro, because I want to see you live another day. I want to see you fight another fight, bro. And you got to show up on these streams, and we gotta have the homies. I want all my homies to succeed. And if that means me saying, drink your fucking water, Reed, you're going to drink your fucking water, bro. But yo, guys, thank you so much, everybody who pulled up tonight. Thank you so much for the mods, for all that you do. Guys, enjoy your weekends, enjoy your mornings, your evenings, your afternoons. Play a lot of video games, smoke a lot of weed, maybe go out, have a couple drinks with your friends. Have fun, enjoy yourselves, guys. I'm not sure if this will be the final Saturday stream or next week might be the final Saturday stream, but Ask Neo will be changing sometime before the end of the month on when we do the streams. But yeah, until then, you guys, keep being the amazing people that you are. Have a lot of great sex, please do that. It does wonders. It does wonders for the body. And for me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one.